Hello. Congratulations, Random. You are indeed first.
People are becoming increasingly radicalized, and young people most of all. And this is evidenced by the record referrals to the Prevent Anti-Terror program in Britain. I imagine something similar is happening in the United States. And this, honestly, is kind of to be expected, actually, isn't it?
TikTok.
Because the establishment, the current status quo, everything it does is to maintain how things are now. And how things are now, if the collapse of the centre is anything to go by in the polling at the moment, is not satisfying anyone. We're getting the rise of what people perceive to be the radical right and reform. It's not, but don't worry. People are voting for it on those grounds anyway. And then on the radical left, we are getting the rise of the Greens, which is genuinely a radical left-wing movement. And the centre itself is just falling in on itself, because the argument from the centre is, and only can be, we want more of the same.
Haven't had any lucid dreams lately, no.
We, the status quo, have been in charge for decades now. For in the case of young people, their entire lives, they've known nothing other than the way things are done now. And we want to continue this indefinitely forever, because this is the kind of politics in which we believe. And Keir Starmer being essentially the last man of this paradigm. To be honest with you, I think actually Nigel Farage is the last man of this paradigm. But he is at least outside of the general consensus, the very narrow band of consensus in the centre. Like Nigel Farage is, I've got my issues with him, obviously, but he is at least something of a renegade on some subjects. I mean, obviously Brexit being the primary one, but he's spoken about immigration and all these things, and he did do it before it was popular. Like, Nigel got in trouble in 2015.
Brexit's fucking stupid, and lo and behold, didn't stop the fucking immigration, did it?
With the big poster with all the bloody migrants marching across Europe, and they all got on his case about it. But he was right, and he did stick his neck out there. So fair enough, Nige. And so you can see that the current status quo, the point of it is essentially to arrest change. As far as they're concerned, things being as they are now, that's how we want them to be, say the status quo. And so the Conservatives and Labour say, no, this is how the country should be. And everyone can't help but notice the country's fucking awful at the moment. Things are terrible. Now, we either should go one way or the other. Obviously, I think we should go to the right. The Greens think we should go to the left. But a decreasing number of people think we should just stay in this centre that satisfies no one, that solves nothing, that is the cause of the problems because it is trying to serve two masters. And this is what I think is behind this kind of generalized radicalization. Because the thing about this, and we'll get into it in a second, is that this isn't any one particular ideology, apparently. The problem is that people are just not happy with the status quo. And the longer that Keir Starmer limps on in his dead premiership as the most unpopular prime minister that has ever existed, at the tail end of the Blairite paradigm, the least popular prime minister with a huge majority that people just can't get rid of, until he does the dignified thing and admits that the experiment of Blairism has failed and it has created a festering country that people are not happy with, then this is going to continue and things are going to get worse. Because while they are acting like a blockage in our political system, there is no avenue for improvement. They cannot bring themselves to do it. Quarter to 8.
Most specified, no ideology identified, or no ideology other susceptibility to radicalization. I don't know what that really
Hey
means.
VG, I just found a gold mine of propally turds for you to react to. Can we watch them next?
Maybe we can watch a couple. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. This has been going on for 2 years now. And what these people always make the case that Israel's completely leveled Gaza. The genocide is continuing unabated. There's mass deaths every day. And then after the ceasefire thing, well, now there's no ceasefire anymore. Like, everything they have done, by their own admission, has been completely and utterly pointless and ineffectual. Like, why are they still doing this? Like, if you're doing something that makes no difference, why are you doing it? Notice how it's always the usual suspects. Dumb bitch college-aged women and gay liberal fucktard twink dudes. Oh, and of course the retirees that get paid to be there by, who fucking knows who. This is just grating.
To provide weapons and cover to Israel. The fact is that Israel could not maintain.
Like, you just know this is TikTok doing this crap, just by the demographics.
The genocide if the United States were not sending.
Let's just hope these people never find jobs and starve to death in the street.
Well, they're never finding jobs, I can tell you that much, but... yeah, these are all spoiled brat, dumb bitch kids with parents who will let them just coast by life. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
The weapons and the funding for them to do so. That is a fact. If the flow of weapons from the United States stopped, the genocide would stop. That is a fact. And so our most urgent task here in the United States is to do everything we can to force an arms embargo, because the flow of weapons starts with us and it has to end with us. Over 52 countries have called for or implemented some form of arms embargo, and this has often been the result of organized workers forcing their leaders to do that. In the U.S., we are making and shipping the weapons, and in other countries, workers are refusing to handle them, refusing to allow them to get to Israel.
They think they're gonna stop the United States shipping arms to Israel when Trump is president and nobody cares what you fucking think?
In Italy this weekend, right now, dock workers at ports across the country are on strike, refusing to handle the ships that are bound for Israel. And that has inspired a national general strike in Italy, which is happening tomorrow.
That sounds extraordinarily hard for me to believe. Something about that just doesn't make sense. Italians giving two fucking shits about anything other than pizza and pasta and cigarettes. I don't know.
In Morocco, workers have refused to handle cargo bound for Israel, and they have gone to jail for it. In Spain, workers and activists together have stopped a Maersk ship carrying F-35 parts from the U.S. from getting to Israel just this week. In Greece, in Belgium, in Turkey, in France, All of these workers are throwing sand into the gears of genocide. The weapons are coming from here, and the workers we are sending them to are saying no. We will not be complicit, and they are waiting on us. It is our turn now to say no. We will not be complicit. No more weapons, no more cargo. No more weapons, no more cargo.
Okay, so they're just delusional fuckwits. Sounds about right.
8,778.
Thoughts on Kratom? It's not good. Don't do it.
25% increase in a year. That's pretty serious. Like, people being like, I think this guy's a fucking lunatic. I think he's going to start doing something extreme. Well, that's a bit of a concern, isn't it? But look at this. In the majority of cases where a type of concern for the referral was noted, most specified, quote, no ideology identified or no ideology other susceptibility to radicalization identified. Now, the BBC edited, as you can see, updated this article before I got hold of it. And I discovered this from Licorice here, who had posted this line, the majority of referrals which had no identified ideology at 56%. Now, let's assume that it's both categories that go at 56%. More than half of people who are considered to be extremists, like literal terrorists being referred to prevent, don't have an ideology. Radicalized, as Licorice puts it, into nothing in particular. That is fucking remarkable, isn't it? Because normally,
I blame these tards partly for getting Trump elected and causing more BS than what they were ever fighting against. Now look at this headline, the courts can revoke my passport now.
SCOTUS rules against trans people's passport gender markers in shadow docket ruling. Why would this... I don't understand why they're ideologically motivated to
Oh,
even do
here's a good
this.
one. This guy is defending the October 7th attacks.
October 7th.
Okay, we'll watch that next, Dodo. Thanks for the donation. I don't know why they're even ideologically motivated to do this. It's just fucking retarded. Why does anybody give two fucks about trans people? It's fucking weird. Thanks for the donation, non-web.
2023 gave way to the biggest protest movement for Palestine we've ever seen. Millions of people across this country, across the world, came out to show their support for Palestine, many who were just learning about this occupation for the very first time. And the consciousness of the U.S. working class shifted almost overnight when working people saw the horrific crimes of Israel and began learning the truth. The Western narrative has completely lost its grip. Washington and Israel, working hand in hand, want to say that anyone who stands up for Palestinian liberation is an anti-Semite, when this could not be farther from the truth. We will not take lessons in anti-Semitism from a government that's made up of neo-Nazis and white supremacists. We will not take the lessons in anti-Semitism from a...
I don't care anymore.
More than 30 people were just fired from Rockstar, and that's only 6 months before Grand Theft Auto 6 launches. And at the scale of a developer like this, while 30 may not seem like it's a humongous number of people, it is still a lot of people to lose this late, because this late into the day is when development tends to be an absolute all-hands-on-deck scramble. Now, it all begs the question, Rockstar are about to release the biggest game in the world, so how can they afford to lose that experience? Well, according to Rockstar, this was essential because every staff member fired committed, quote, gross misconduct. And that does mean that today's video is going to be a rather spicy one. Rockstar alleges that those staff leaked confidential information, which is a humongous claim. But it's one that the union working with those staff calls, quote, the most blatant act of union busting in the history of the games industry. So yeah, this is very much a story of one massive claim versus another massive claim, And that means today, we gotta
Hate how YouTube does this.
get to the bottom of it as best as we can. This started with the Independent Workers of Great Britain Union making some serious allegations against Rockstar. They called it a calculated attack on workers, and it's one that
And attacked Hillary Clinton herself for her stance on Israel.
I don't care anymore. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
hit more than 30 people who were fired in the UK alone. Now, included in this bunch are staff whose visas depended on this job, whose medical treatment depends on this job. Now, the IWGB says that everyone was fired, quote, due to trade union activity. Now, here is the key detail. They say every fired individual was part of a private trade union Discord channel, and according to the Register's sources, this channel was used by the staff to, quote, discuss how they could improve their workplace. Now, they also note that, quote, there might have been just enough union members for recognition. And they framed the timing, of course, as being suspicious, where these layoffs happened after management became aware of the channel. But to get more on this, we can go to Bloomberg, because Bloomberg reports that staff were also fired in Canada. So that's what started off today's video. But after the initial reports, well, they got a new statement from Rockstar, and that statement says that the staff were fired for leaking confidential information, which could go against some of what was being suggested by the union. So basically, the allegations here are clear. Rockstar say they were protecting their company's secrets. The IWGB say that Rockstar was retaliating against employees for trying to unionize. But here's the thing. The IWGB are not backing down. They say they'll be, quote, mounting a full and robust defense of its members. This includes doing fundraising for legal coverage and a protest outside of Take-Two's London office. And that's because they believe their members were targeted unfairly for exercising their legal rights. It's a quote from them, and yeah, union organization is a protected activity. So, in this story we see that the union is clearly feeling quite bullish. Rockstar are saying things back. But before we get to that, there's a reason why the union is bullish. Because this is not their only active campaign. This isn't the first story out of that union. They're basically making waves in the UK industry, where of course Rockstar is clearly one of their ongoing ventures. Now, recently, they helped staff at Disco Elysium developer Zaum unionize to protect themselves from management and layoffs. And then, I suppose bringing in another Rockstar connection, after the Mind's Eye developer Builder Rocket Boy laid people off, the union gave the impacted staff a platform. And essentially, they're alleging that people were laid off in a fairly improper way, and that's why they're now also helping those people with legal action under the grounds of unfair dismissal. But there is a major distinction for today's story, and it's this. Rockstar denies everything, pretty much. They say that there are no union-related reasons for these dismissals. A Take-Two representative told Bloomberg that it was down to gross misconduct, and for no other reason, adding that they, quote, fully support Rockstar's ambitions and approach. Now, here's the thing, right? Gross misconduct is a fairly huge thing to say. I don't know about other jurisdictions, but it's huge to say in the United Kingdom because it is a legally clear term. It's a legally clear claim for them to make. So because of that, we need to investigate why Rockstar would say this, because if they were just lying, it would look pretty bad in court. Okay, let's try to take Rockstar at their word for this section. That basically 30 plus staff all behaved in a way that reflects gross misconduct. You might be wondering, okay, it's a serious word, but what does it actually mean? Well, in the UK, it's a legal term. It's the kind that lets you fire staff without pay and without notice, though they are meant to get a chance to first respond to the allegations. Now, the government's own guidance lists what qualifies for this, and it's things like theft, gross negligence, physical violence, or serious insubordination. Now, 30 staff engaging in theft, negligence, or violence is probably a stretch, but serious insubordination? Well, that actually could fit. And the reason why is because it extends to breaking company policies. So maybe that's what Rockstar are arguing here, that maintaining corporate confidentiality almost certainly comes under their policies. Perhaps discussing your workplace or the production of the game you're working on an external public platform could be argued to fall into that category. But there is a tightrope to walk here for Rockstar. The IWGB were quite explicit to Bloomberg. They said, quote, the only organizers in the chat were labor organizers. And that would make things tricky for Rockstar, because there's a clear reason they're saying this has nothing to do with the union. if they did, it would go very, very badly for them, and here's the reason why. Firing someone for union activity is simply not allowed unless they are taking part in an illegal industrial action. So, if staff in the Discord were acting as employee representatives, that would be a protected activity. Acting as union representatives would be protected. Lobbying to start or to join a union, that's also protected. Under UK employment law, those dismissals would automatically qualify as being unfair. So obviously Rockstar are denying it has anything to do with the union. And that would mean that if staff were to bring it to what's called an employment tribunal, and Rockstar then didn't have a valid gross misconduct claim, well then Rockstar would be liable. And that is why the IWGB do intend to bring legal action here. Because basically, if Rockstar fired over 30 people without valid cause, or are just overreaching on the idea of what actually counts as confidential information, then they could lose the case, and those staff may get their jobs back, which would certainly make for an awkward day in the office, but it could also—
Hey man, if you're interested, you can download a browser extension that will make all YouTube videos default to highest video quality automatically.
Well, I don't want to have to download like 50 fucking extensions. Thanks for that donation though, Yoshi.
mean compensation for lost wages and damages, and who knows, if it was particularly egregious, maybe things could get a bit punitive. Now, for the IWGB, it would also—
Wonder if this has anything to do with the delay. Because now the game apparently got delayed till November.
Be a very, very clear victory. It would further their movement within the country, which obviously would, if their allegations are true, be quite counter to what Rockstar would have wanted. Again, if you were to take their allegations as being true. Though there's one thing, a question that we've not gotten to yet, and it's a very simple one. Why now? Why would Rockstar staff push for union protection at this precise moment? To tell you why, I've got to go back to 2022. Then, Bloomberg reported on changes to the culture.
Bad news, VG Zoran Mamdani win has inspired Muslims.
34-year-old Zoran Mamdani made history this week as one of the youngest and first Muslim elected mayors in one of the largest cities in America.
For many, his win is a symbol of progress and possibility, not just for Muslims, but for all underrepresented communities.
I never really thought that somebody who was as young as he is, with a relatively brief political resume, and given his background as a Muslim, first and foremost, I didn't think he had a chance. I couldn't be happier that I was proven wrong.
Sarir Fazli, the former president of the Islamic Center here in Rochester, says Mamdani's victory gives young people across the state new confidence to get involved and hope that barriers to political participation.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Rockstar, where essentially Rockstar was becoming a place where staff didn't necessarily feel they would need a union to protect themselves. Rockstar got in quite a lot of bad PR over the years, and Bloomberg sources talked about pledges to, quote, keep overtime under control. So very much a far cry from the, quote, 100-hour weeks and the death marches of 14-hour days that had previously been involved in delivering their games. As an example, back in 2018, after the crunch in Red Dead Redemption 2, before it was released, Rockstar even went so far as to authorize staff to speak out about their experiences to try and change the narrative. And since then, even managers who were framed as bullying or being abusive have been removed from power. Basically, they tried to change a lot in the company. And sources flagged up that the company had also closed their gender pay gap by over half the 2018 figure, down to 13.8%, and that even with all that change, in terms of the actual output, they framed the writing on the new
Okay, so they're just paying women more for doing jack shit. There's a reason why they're paid less. It's because they're not doing as much.
Grand Theft Auto game as being thoughtfully satirical, punching up at people with power instead of down. Of course, Grand Theft Auto has always been a satire of American culture made by Scottish people. I mean, obviously it's a lot bigger than that now, but that's basically how the whole thing started off. Anyway, in short, it actually seemed like one of the biggest companies in gaming was also trying to reform itself. into being a model for healthy development. Now that stuff came from 2022. Obviously, it's ringing a bit different now given that we're talking about this story. And one thing that could have changed things was the devastating security breach. When that happened, Rockstar leadership began to tighten their grip. And I would say, understandably so. A major security breach like that is seriously awful for the development of a game. Now, Bloomberg reported that staff were told to return to the office 5 days a week as of February 24, and in their framing, this was for security and productivity reasons. But of course, typically, return to office mandates also can function as soft layoff tools, which basically just helps to get rid of staff, and often in the opinion of companies, get rid of staff who are, let's just say, the least invested in the company's success. Now, the delays to Grand Theft Auto's release have likely not helped matters here, because staff will be under constant levels of pressure to get the game ready by the new release date, and obviously to not have to do another delay. So, in light of all this, it does make sense that the staff would have wanted some union protection. Perhaps they'd seen progress.
Why is it wrong to leftists for me to say I dislike Islam, but not if I say I dislike any other religion? I hate all religion, so why is including Islam in that suddenly bad? It advocates for the usual atrocities and bigotry as usual with religions.
Because they're gay retards.
Sup, Richard? How are you doing? You should measure your chest sometime. I wonder if you're at 50 inches yet.
I have no idea. Chest measurement is kind of stupid because, like, you're also measuring your back. So, I don't know. Thanks for the donation, though, CDG. Yeah, there's this whole gay retard save the Muslims thing going on, where Islam is the good, peaceful religion that you can't criticize right now. It's just, you know, stupid communist bullshit. Thanks for the donation, though, non-wib.
During GTA development, maybe they want to lock it in. Maybe they saw signs of backsliding and want to prevent it. Of course, for the visa holders, the people with, say, dependent medical coverage, well, they would quite need some things to be locked in. And if they were unionizing, then the pressure of an upcoming launch would give them maximum leverage. By now, you basically understand both sides of this story. As for GTA, well, an employment tribunal in the UK is not going to kill Grand Theft Auto 6 sales. All the bad press about working conditions will not matter when pre-orders open. But that tribunal's impact could go far beyond the sales of one game. Because if these allegations are true, and remember, they are allegations, then holding Rockstar accountable would actually send a message. You know, one to the biggest companies in the world making the biggest games in the world, that they can't treat their employees like this, that they can't fire people who depend on that job for, say, their right to remain in the country, for their medical care, unless they have real, proper reason. And that would mean that if Rockstar's accusation of gross misconduct would hold, well, then they would be proven right, and those staff would have, by, I suppose, the letter of the law, been proven wrong. But more than that, it would require staff seeking to unionize to be a lot more careful about when and where they take action. As an example, in that Discord server, we don't know what was talked about, and I don't really want to speculate in that, but it's the sort of thing that staff would probably need to be more careful about. Obviously, the IWGB losing on those grounds would even discredit their movement. If they aren't, and things are as the IWGB alleges, then Rockstar would have shattered lives over a Discord channel that staff used to discuss how they could improve their workplace. And you would certainly hope that an improved workplace would in the long term be in everyone's best interests. As for this one, we need to wait and see, and ultimately what will decide things, I'd say...
Sing this.
Let me see.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything
everything I do, so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move, so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams into modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
Racism is what is going on. Who should be shot and who doesn't belong. Racist, can you see you're a blight on our country? Ignoring it is wrong. Racism, anti-Muslim, anti-Jewish. We will see more respect for MPs. By the way, why did they say anti-Muslim in a song about racism? Islam isn't a fucking race.
If they don't play along,
Politicizing racism. That family seems extremely cucked and gay and retarded. Thanks for the donation, Onwib. Renegade donated $2. Let me see. That's great. Thanks for the donation, dude.
News flash: there is no such thing as a peaceful religion. Just look at Christianity. They claimed to be a peaceful religion too, and yet promoted the Crusades.
The Holy Crusades were defensive wars against Muslims that were massacring Christians. I don't know why nobody knows that, but Christians weren't persecuting Muslims. Muslims were literally raping, torturing, murdering Christians, kidnapping them, using them as slaves. And then Christians fought back against the Muslims to get them to stop doing that. That's what the Crusades were. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Opinion of a judge to see how they actually read the cases being made to them. Now, you're probably clicked in this video because you're interested in GTA. And if you're interested in GTA, probably like heists, such as Payday. Which may mean you kind of know how Payday 3 was underwhelming. Maybe you're interested in Payday 2. And for that game, there is goddamn huge news. You can find out about it in this video next. As it turns out, you guys are really interested in what's going on with Payday. 500,000 watched our last video, and since then, the story's got even wilder. Starbreeze just put a new development team on a 12-year-old game. They're basically resurrecting Payday 2 with updates, fixes, and maybe even rebalancing. And they've done this after they've monetized it with subscriptions. That basically means it seems like they want to put that money to work and actually, well, you know, earn it. And in a way, it could seem like a defeat. I mean, they're kind of admitting that Payday 3 failed so badly, it almost feels like they're abandoning it for their old game. But that's not fully what's happening, and you gotta remember what's actually going on.
Payday 3 was so ungodly awful. I remember having fun with Payday 2. I was playing it a decent bit. So a friend of mine and I were going to play Payday 3. We were playing it for like 5 minutes and we're like, wow, this sucks. Fuck this.
Wait, are you eating rice? I haven't seen you eat that ever. WTF? Interesting. And what did you think of the burp? First one you've seen in a while, right, Richard? And how is Isaac doing? You guys getting along in your tiny little house?
Yeah, I just ate rice. The burp was gross. And, yes, Isaac and I are getting along just fine in this tiny little house. Thanks for the donation, Renegade.
I have a first date next week with a girl that I'm excited about. Do you have any advice?
Make sure you brush your teeth. Try not to fart too much. So yeah. Can't fuck up too badly as long as your breath doesn't smell and you don't fart too much. Thanks for the donation, 88. Kid booed on each other's population collapse is imminent. Good.
At the comments in this post, and there was a lot of comments making light of it, like joking around, like, ooh, men are in their flop era. Like, no, like, when I read this, I had a pit in my stomach. This goes beyond, like, men are in their flop era. We are living through a paradigm shift in society, and when ChatGPT...
You know, I've thought about this for a little bit, and this just makes logical sense. I had to deal with this when I was in high school. Women are fucking cunts. Especially teenage girls. And, like, even some chicks, like, in their early 20s. They still have, like, a weird bitch attitude. But, like, when I was in high school, I'd ask a girl out or something. And then they'd act like a complete fucking cunt. Just be a bitch. And try to embarrass you. Like, spread some rumor, tell their friends or something, like, in a weird way. So when online dating exists, where you don't have to assume that kind of risk or humiliation, why would you ever talk to a girl? So yeah, no shit, when there's an alternative, when you don't have to deal with horse shit, you're obviously going to choose that alternative. So, like, women are the problem here, not men. I don't know why the headline is like, oh, study says 45% of men aged 18 to 25 never asked a woman out. Like, how about having a statistic that 98% of women are fucking annoying cunts and men don't want to actually talk to them? Like, that's a more accurate headline. So, like, are we surprised that when women act like entitled fucking bitch cunts who just treat men like shit, dudes don't want to have to fucking deal with them, and they'll find ways to do online dating so that they can just, you know, weed out the fucking trash they don't want to deal with, try to select for women that actually have an interest, and even when it falls through, it's online, there's a level of anonymity, they're not in your friend group or anything. Like, no shit, men are doing that. It's because, like, women aren't worth the fucking trouble. So, yeah. But everybody who reports on this shit, they make it seem as though men are the fucking problem here. No, it's women. Why would you ever fucking like deal with fucking like there's a reason for this behavior, clearly. So why are we like blaming men for the issue?
Rolls out corn by the end of the year, I think that dating and society will be unrecognizable in a year from now, because there's already so many people who are having full-blown relationships with AI and who are not developing social skills and dating skills and respect for other human beings.
Oh no. Men have social skills. That's why they're not dealing with women. They have enough social skills to realize, oh, they treat me like shit, and why would I ever want to deal with them or be around them? So yeah, no crap. They end up having these AI girlfriends or only doing online dating or something. So no, you'd have to have social skills in order to make that decision. Women are the ones who lack fucking social skills. Rather than acting like sensible adults, where if they get talked to by a dude or they're asked out and they're not interested, they just say, oh, they can't just say, oh, I have a boyfriend, but I really appreciate you like talking to me. It's sweet. No, it's, oh, I'm trying to have a coffee and I'm at a gas station and I'm alone and you decided to come up and talk to me. What do you think you're doing here? Like it's that sort of horseshit. So no, it's women who lack the fucking social skills.
In the outside real world, once AI is able to service that aspect of life, relationship, whatever you want to call it, there is going to be no reason for these men who are having full-blown relationships with AI.
Oh yeah, women are done. You're done. We don't need you anymore. We're gonna have sex robots. We're gonna have AI girlfriends. And we're going to be able to make children without you. So if you want a kid, why in the fuck would you ever get married, get stuck with some fucking bitch who can steal half your fucking money? No, get an AI girlfriend, the sex robot, have the weird biological clone child, you know, raise your kid, have a happy family with your AI girlfriend who doesn't act like a cunt and won't steal your money. You're done. Women are fucking erased. Like, that's literally what's going to happen.
AI to ever stray from them. And that's really scary. I was looking at the comments in this.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Isaac?
Huh?
What do you think of that?
Of what?
You think women are done?
How?
Like AI sex robots and the cloning children thing.
I don't know about done. There's probably a lot of guys who are going to go that way.
Yeah. Like why would you get married and have kids and risk having your money stolen from you with a breakup or deal with some crazy bitch? Like, you would get the AI girlfriend and then you would just have like the clone child. If you want to have kids.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know what amount of men will go that way, but it's inevitable that that's...
Like 99%.
That's a very strong assumption. I mean...
Like what's the downside?
I don't know.
Like, assuming most people make logical decisions, what would be the downside?
Well, I mean, some men might just care about it being a human female, like, innately. That might be just a value.
If the sex robots are so good, you literally can't tell the difference?
Well, it's kind of like, you know, the experience machine. Like, when it say that there's, you know, a world you can go into that's like the Matrix, and you can, you know, fly around
right,
and do whatever you want. But none of the minds in it are real. You can picture a lot of people not wanting to go into that, yeah?
Yeah, but another way of looking at it is, how do you know if you're not already living in something like that? And what difference does it make if you're happier?
I don't know if people will be that philosophical about it. I think...
Yeah, maybe not.
I'm
yeah, but we're also talking about dudes here, too. Like, we're also talking about dudes here. Like, women are going to care more if they're actually dating a real person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to reason you into caring about it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm kind of pointing out things people might care about. Like, I don't know what the numbers will be, But so it might be a lot to say women are gonna get fucking like annihilated, but definitely that kind of tech is coming. There's already guys. Actually, honestly, I know more girls than guys who have full-on AI relationships. Like,
Yeah.
and two of them who actually spend a lot of time with their AI. It has a name, and the kind of things they say are, I can just have so much better conversations. It actually listens to me. It says smart, interesting things. So, I don't know. I mean, clearly some people are going to be into that. Once they get embodied, some people are going to do the whole relationship like that.
Yeah, that's perfect. Women can have dumb, pointless conversations that nobody wants to listen to other than an artificial intelligence.
Yeah, so maybe when women complain about all the guys fucking their sex robots,
Yeah.
you can just tell them that they can go and talk to their own robots and they'll have more fun with that.
Yeah.
What about you? Yeah, I'm assuming you're just gonna date a sex robot and say fuck you to every single woman?
I don't know if I'd bother dating a sex robot.
What, you're just gonna be asexual?
Well, no, I'll just jerk off to porn or something.
AI porn?
Nah, I'm not into AI porn.
What if the AI porn gets as good as whatever you want? You can just tell it to create fucking...
Well, I guess if it's hentai, sure.
Oh, there will be AI hentai.
Yeah.
It's gonna reach a level where you're going to be able to type the rough general like adjectives that you're into, and it'll just generate you a porn.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, so no girlfriend for you, just whacking it to fucking AI autogen.
Hell yeah.
Nice, space, let's go.
Fuck yeah. Pick donate $2, let me see.
Hey everyone, welcome to another...
Oh jeez, again. Alright, well, he's making another video about being broke. I guess we can watch that. Thanks for the donation pick.
Really? Wow, I never knew the Crusades were so based.
Yeah, the Crusades were based. A lot of people don't know that, but now you're red-pilled. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Advice to 88, don't tell her you're vegan or she's gonna think you're gay and leave. And make sure to brush your teeth after you finish sucking Richard's dick. And Richard, want more burp videos to watch? And what room did Isaac take? Does he fap?
I want money to be donated to me, but I don't want to have to watch burp videos for it. So, I don't know. Don't know if there's some kind of compromise we can make. He took the second bedroom. I'm assuming he faps. Thanks for the donation though, 21st Savage.
It's funny how all these women complain about men not being able to change when they themselves refuse to change.
Oh yeah, women refuse, completely and utterly refuse to change their habits or behavior. They'll never change. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo. Kid Boo donated $2, based Asian woman.
Everyone force introverts to be talkative, but not force extroverts to shut the fuck up for a minute. Why does everyone...
True. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo. Kid Boo donated $2. Men hate their wives. Well, I have some personal experience with this, and you know, you know.
Starts in TikTok at Costco.
To 10, how much do you love coming to Costco with your wife?
0.
How much do you love coming to Costco with your wife?
0.
Can I say negative? So what's the number?
0.
How much do you love coming to Costco with your wife?
Was that what her 10?
1 to 10, how much do you love coming to Costco with your wife?
How about 0?
Do you love coming to Costco with your wife?
Oh, zero. That's why I'm by myself. She's over there.
We come here all the time, so like probably 9 or 10.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Zero.
You know he wasn't actually saying zero.
What he was saying? Got him!
This, you know what this is?
Oh, yeah, when you look at it, it's, yeah. That's why I'm looking at your eyes. That's why I'm looking at your eyes.
Pause. Damn, you know that?
I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
That's what he's doing. He's like,
I was annoying with shit. Makes sense. Just don't be annoying with shit. The thing is, like, I like going to Costco with her because she hates shopping. So it's not like, ooh, and she makes lists and she's like that. It's very organized. We're not staying there for like too long.
Yeah.
She hates shopping more than me. My girl's the kind of person that goes home if there's no parking. Fuck it. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And things that people don't know about here in Canada. Well, Costco on Saturdays close at 6 or something like that. And most people think it closes at 5. So if you go at 5, you got 1 hour with nobody in there. So it's like it's better. Something like that. Or she has these tricks. Or she goes like super early. Or because she works from home, she's able to, go at times that there's no people. But she hates shopping more than me. So she's out of there before I'm like fed up. I'm like, yeah, cool. That's a nice little stroll. And I got snacks.
all right. So there's a lot of responses to this. I'm going to just play a few of them. Some of the ladies got upset about this, and so let's play some.
The ladies got upset?
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love coming to Costco with your wife?
0.
How much do you love coming to Costco with your wife?
0.
The caption reads, are these the men we're supposed to marry? Are these the men who are soulmates?
Yes.
Who deserve to pass their genes on? Are these the men?
Yeah.
They're never the problem. Women think that they're never the problem. Like they literally are incapable of stopping and asking, why would a man feel this way? Is their wife mistreating them? Are they doing things that are annoying? Are they disrespectful? Oh, men are supposed to worship us and do everything we say. Like, that's literally how they think. Fucking insane, dude.
Even Toy Story 4 highlighted the worst of female nature with how Bo Peep treated Woody, and yet Woody, like a dumbass, still fell in love with her somehow. Just look at this scene.
Okay. Forky's still in there.
I don't know if I've seen Toy Story 4. Those sheep are cute. Well, I think that's about as much as I can watch without getting a copyright problem. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Yes, they are, because they hate doing that shit, and they did it for you. They sacrifice, they compromise. Isn't that what relationship is all about? That's what it's all about. You put your left foot in Costco, you put your left foot out. That's what it is. They sacrifice.
What kind of gear am I on? I'm taking 50 milligrams test, 30 milligrams Boldenone, and 5 IU's growth hormone per day.
So yes, these are the men that you're supposed to marry. They hate it here. They're here by your side through thick and thin, through better and worse.
All right, let's keep going.
Through home and Costco.
All right, here we go.
That video is not funny. I know it's meant to be a joke and it's meant to make people laugh, but it's not funny. It's not funny when men make their wives the butt of their jokes. It's not funny when men state that they don't like spending time with their wife. That on a scale of 0 to 10, going to Costco with their wife is a 0. That is sad, that is mean, and it's disrespectful, and it's become far.
I wonder if their wives are mean and disrespectful, and that's why they don't want to hang out with them at Costco.
Far too normalized in our society. It's very normal to see a portrayal of the wife being the old nag, the ball and chain, right?
Yes, that's because they are.
It is not funny to make men the butt of the... Have you seen TV commercials? We can't change a roll of paper, apparently. We don't know how to fucking do the laundries. Fuck me. You know what I mean? It's not nice when you make fun of... Have you seen any TV commercial about whatever product that you have out there? We can't do shit. We're always stupid as fuck. We take it. We shut the fuck up about it. We can't make 1 or 2 jokes. Have you... Every woman out there that does comedy, the man is the butt of the joke. All the time. And you know what? That's cool. That's okay. If that's part of your reality, do your thing, boo-boo. It's not fun. Fuck out of here, girl.
I will say he's preaching. I think it is a very common trope to make men the incompetent one when it comes to anything related to the home and to...
Oh my god. Street vegan, that's hilarious. I just thought of a funny idea. Have Toy Story, but have like sex toys. That would be so fucking funny.
being a caregiver. I think that's a very, and women say it all the time. My husband can't do this. It's like, and a lot of women be like, preach, man.
Y'all queen, y'all, they don't do nothing. We don't need them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And men feel very comfortable making jokes at their wife's expense. And I think this video is an example of that, where a bunch of men in a grocery store felt comfortable telling a stranger that going grocery shopping with their wife was unenjoyable. It was something they didn't want to be doing. And there was only like 1 or 2 men in there who, with sincerity, said it was a 10. That going grocery shopping with their wife was a 10. And those men must genuinely enjoy their partner and love their partner, because that's the normal response, right? That is the normal response. And even if you hate going to Costco, right? Chances are she doesn't like going to Costco either. Chances are for the whole entire time she's been married to you, she's been responsible for thinking about when you need toilet paper or toothpaste or new underwear from Costco. She's the person who's thinking about the food for the family and understanding if she should buy it in bulk or just at the grocery store. She tracks the prices. She knows what she needs and where she needs to get it. So maybe at Costco.
So like like, is this how women, they can't think this. They don't actually believe this. Like, they think men can't live on their own and figure out they need to get toilet paper or toothpaste? Like, are single dudes walking around with dirty asses and unbrushed teeth everywhere? Oh, I forgot to get toilet paper again. I guess I'm just gonna, like, walk around with a shitty ass all day. They can't possibly think this. Like, this is just them justifying their fucking nonsense and acting as though they're fucking important and do anything. Like, no, you're literally fucking useless and you're a drag on everyone's life. No one needs you for fucking toilet paper or toothpaste. They can do that on their own. They're fucking adults.
She takes a long time shopping. She goes down every aisle. She checks all the prices because she's buying things for you and your family. And then you have the nerve to make fun of her, to joke that it's the least enjoyable experience you have, going grocery shopping with her. That is sad. We cannot normalize this behavior. We should not normalize this behavior, because I also know there are a lot of men out there who are not like this. My husband and I, we love going to Costco together.
Let's ask him.
Shopping? No.
Flip the camera. Let's ask him. Let's ask him. No, boo boo. No, me and my husband, we're good. Don't speak for him. Turn the camera.
I mean,
I love going with my wife. Yes.
Some people do. You're one of those husbands.
The what?
You like going to Costco with your girl.
I don't like to.
No, dude, women aren't just crazy. Like, this is calculated. It happens way too much where, like, you see chicks talking like this. They're not just crazy. Like, this is calculated manipulation.
What does Isaac think of you taking steroids? Has he commented on your tripling in size? Oops, I did it again.
I don't know why anybody's interested in that. I think he doesn't have a strong opinion on it either way. He just thinks it's fine. Like, cool that you can take a drug to get jacked. Thanks for the donation, though, 21st.
To go with my girl. I don't like to go to Costco, but we have to go. It's like a man. It's not a bad thing. It's like, oh, we gotta go to Costco. It's the people that make.
Is Sermorelin a good alternative to HGH? How the fuck do you afford it?
No. Growth hormone secretagogues are absolute garbage. They're just going to make you fat. That's it. So they don't increase growth hormone production all that much because it relies on like your actual pituitary gland secreting it. So with injectable growth hormone, there's a benefit to taking up to, I think, 28 or 30 IUs per day. There's no way you could ever have a secretagogue have you release that much. Now, that's a ridiculously high dose, but you'll find your average pro bodybuilder, due to a variety of factors, either due to cost or due to their own tolerance to the drug. A lot of them are on 5 to 10 IUs. Some bodybuilders who have a high tolerance for the drug and can't afford it, they're taking around 20. But you're never going to get anywhere fucking close to those numbers taking a secretagogue. So the real magical benefit with growth hormone is that it creates hyperplasia. So you actually produce new muscle cells. They don't just get larger. Growth hormone secretagogues cannot help you release enough HGH to actually cause that to happen. They developed... Pfizer developed... why do I always forget the name? Serostim. They developed Serostim, which is dosed at 18 IUs per vial for AIDS patients. AIDS causes you to waste away and lose muscle mass. They developed Serostim, which is a high concentration human growth hormone, to prevent that wasting. And what they found, with no other anabolic drugs involved, so no testosterone or anything like that, you need 18 IUs per day of human growth hormone to stimulate hyperplasia. So in human research, we know without any other drugs involved, you need about 18 IUs per day to stimulate hyperplasia. We don't know exactly what the dose for HGH, what dose is necessary to stimulate hyperplasia in people who are also taking other anabolic drugs. Most people think it's probably around 8 IUs or higher, but it could possibly be lower because there are a lot of people who've taken much lower doses. And they still clearly, without changing any other drugs they're taking, they end up gaining like an extra 10 pounds of muscle mass, adding growth hormone in. So if you want a performance-enhancing effect from human growth hormone, you probably want to take about double what your body would naturally produce, which would be about 4 IUs on the high end. I'm taking 5 IUs per day, and you're just likely not going to get that kind of performance out of a secretagogue. And on top of that, they just make you fat. They massively stimulate appetite, and they also have other negative side effects too. So they're garbage, and they're also great for triggering type 2 diabetes. Injectable HGH, it under 99% of circumstances, it won't make you insulin resistant, but growth hormone secretagogues will. So they're absolutely fucking terrible. I wouldn't recommend taking them if your choice is between not taking a growth hormone secretagogue and just saving your money, or using it on other anabolic drugs, save your money or take other anabolic drugs. Increase your doses of some other steroid versus taking a growth secretagogue. I think it's a waste of time. How do I afford it? It is expensive. I'm spending about $450 a month on it. A lot of people would have trouble affording that kind of dose, but you don't have to get, like Pfizer, Genotropin, or Serostim. Like, those are outrageously expensive. There's Chinese-made, quote-unquote generic growth hormones that you can get on the black market that are way, way cheaper. Like, literally 10 times cheaper. So, just find a good source for Chinese generic growth hormone if you really want to take it. Don't bother spending the money on something like Serostim or Genotropin. It's outrageously expensive, and it's not even any better than the Chinese generics at this point, if you can find a good source at least. But thanks for the donation. Apple is fucking awful. Kid Boo donated $2. Let me see.
Don't sound bad, but don't take it like that. What is y'all annual income a year?
Yep. He spoke for everyone, based. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo.
You know, watching that scene made me reals remember when female actors would admit that they were wrong in movies. What happened to those days?
Was that ever a thing? I don't know if there's ever been a moment in recorded history where a woman has ever admitted to being wrong, ever. I'm not sure. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Uncomfortable. Not my girl, but it's okay. It's fine. It's like, for example, if you guys, if your husband was cleaning the gutter, right, and you're holding the ladder and he's on top of the ladder and he's like, do you like cleaning the gutters with your wife? No, I hate that shit. Why? Because I'm up there, I'm cold, it smells funky, but he does it for you. We could flip it. It doesn't mean shit. Girl, calm down. My God.
All right, hold up. This guy, we have somebody who disagrees with you.
No way am I trying to say that I'm a better husband than any other guy out there, but I would rate going to Costco with my wife a 10 out of 10.
Good for you.
If you guys are wondering why his glasses look like that, it's because he's so far up his wife's ass that the doo-doo stains on the frame are now permanent.
Yeah.
No, he has a right to like going to Costco. Good for him.
I don't know, but yes, he has a right. But like him posting this video and be like, I'm not better than every other man, but let me tell you why I'm better than every other man.
Let's hear it.
Okay, let's hear the comments. Oh my God. Oh, my husband. Oh, good man. Oh, that's how my husband should respond. Okay, all right. If I'm one of those guys' partners, and I end up on a viral TikTok where my husband's talking about how much he dislikes going to Costco with me, I could understand why those women would be upset. Fair?
Sure.
He's just comfortably telling random people, bro, I hate going places with my. I could understand.
These wives know. All the guys that they ask were they're the guardian of the cart, not in the alley going looking for the product. They know this is not pleasant. That's not how your husband had when he's like, oh yeah, they know. They know.
Fair, but even if I know, going publicly with it, I think we'd all agree, not necessary. No?
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Right? We don't like it when women undermine their husbands or, are critical of something's aspect of them publicly. I think it's the same vice versa.
I wouldn't mind. Like, I get it. But I get, yeah.
I don't feel the same as well. I agree with you, but I'm saying I understand.
I get it.
I think I'm the kind of person, when I go shopping, it's like the most efficient trip. I'm in that store and I'm timing that bitch and I'm out and like, because I know what I'm going for. I'm not looking.
Women's ontological nature just fundamentally opposes taking responsibility. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Down every aisle. I'm going there. I know what I want. I grab it. I'm out. I'm not just, $2.99. Let me turn around. I ain't doing all that shit. Shopping with ladies sometimes, it feels like National Geographic. So it looks like we're discovering new species. Like everything is so slow. I struggle personally.
Will I look tougher with a buzz cut, or should I keep my long hair? I don't know. I have no idea what you actually look like.
My time.
Some people shop.
Like, some people look like a dork with a buzz cut, so I don't know.
Like, they shop.
Like they didn't know why they're there.
No, they shop like they're watching a new movie and they don't know what's going to happen and they act their spouse. They ask, oh my God, this new yogurt is like, I never seen that store. You think it's good? I don't know. I've never tasted the bitch.
And I think you nailed it earlier. I think loving someone means doing things that you don't always enjoy because it matters to them.
Compromise.
Yes, it's a normal thing. But trust me, there's a lot of things that I'm doing day to day that if my girl, like you said, was present, she'd probably find it really boring and unpleasant because of the way I go about doing it. I try to be supportive by just being like, this is the way you like to do things. I'm going to turn my brain off for the next hour and we can do this as inefficiently as you want, and that's okay.
It's like if my girl.
Dodo Donatillers, Blaha crashing out over troll comment. Jeez. He doesn't even put any effort into anything he does. Like, he hasn't bothered getting an iPhone with really good stability management,
Richard is a gay faggot. Palestine emoji, short bus emoji.
Okay, I'll look at that in a second. Thanks for the donation, fucktard. Like, he doesn't put any effort into his content, and, like, this is just unwatchable garbage nonsense. Like, I could understand doing something like this if you have a selfie stick and you have a phone that has a camera with stability control, and you can make something that's high production, then maybe, like, actual human beings would bother watching it. But this guy is, like, a boring, retarded lolcow who puts no effort into his content. It's completely unwatchable. Obviously, the only people who are going to watch his shit are, like, just people trying to piss him off. Like, that's the only way you can get entertainment out of this. And then he's surprised people just try to piss him off.
So, based on that last comment, I can assume the last person is a piece of shit garbage thug. If the first thing that pops in your head when you see someone who exercises and runs, that they're running from the police, you're just a scumbag piece of shit who thinks that way.
By the way, Jason Blaha has been arrested before for illegal possession of a firearm and also possession of marijuana.
You should probably just die. How's that?
He also almost got arrested for taking somebody hostage. One of his trolls found out where he lived, and he put out a fake ad for a transgender prostitute at his apartment. Some random black dude looking for some tranny sex showed up to his house, and rather than just saying, I have no idea who you are or what's going on here, but yeah, there's no tranny here, like, leave, he pulled out his AR-15, held the guy at gunpoint, and forced him to give him his photo ID. The cops ended up coming, and lucky for fucking Blaha, the guy was married. So he didn't want to press charges on Blaha because his wife would find out about it and find out that he was trying to get a transgender prostitute to have sex with. If that dude wasn't married and wanted to press charges, he would have been in fucking jail for taking somebody fucking hostage at gunpoint. I'm not even fucking kidding. That actually happened. So it's hilarious how he's freaking out like this. Like, you're a fucking thug. Why would you ever fucking make a joke about me running from the police? He's been arrested before for illegal possession of a firearm and possession of marijuana. Who gives a fuck about the marijuana thing, though? And he almost got arrested for taking somebody hostage. The police just weren't willing to press charges because the victim wasn't willing to cooperate.
Like, you're just a piece of shit. You're human filth. If that is where your brain goes, you're complete ghetto trash. You serve no value to humanity. If that's honestly where your brain even goes. How you like that answer?
Like, does he actually think anybody wants to watch this?
Like, that's
this may be worse than his Blaha ASMR gamer channel.
Your brain goes and you see people exercising.
What a fucktard. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Let's see.
You guys say my diet is crazy, but when an average American buys a cart like this, nobody blinks an eye. What's in here? Mold-filled coffee in the morning together with
I don't think that coffee has mold in it.
my zero sugar coffee mate creamer that has
Yeah, it seems fine.
carrageenan, causing leaky gut, artificial sweeteners, probably
Yes, carrageenan.
changing my insulin sensitivity negatively and causing dysbiosis. For lunch, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich of creamy peanut butter from Jif, complete with fully hydrogenated vegetable oils. And I cooked my eggs this morning for breakfast in Mazola heart-healthy, colesterol-free corn oil. Seed oils are good for you, right? That's what the government says. You know, overall,
And they happen to be right about that.
I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm drinking Coke Zero. This is normal, but what I eat is crazy.
What's wrong with Coke Zero?
Grass-fed beef, eggs, raw dairy, raw milk, fruit.
Yes, dairy that can give you an E. coli or campylobacteria or bovine tuberculosis infection.
Honey, squash, butter. Wait a minute. What I'm eating is crazy, but this isn't crazy?
He eats like shit. His cholesterol's through the fucking roof.
That's wild to me. This is why we're sick. We're not eating food for humans. We're not eating single ingredient foods. We're not eating foods with labels that our great grandmother would recognize. This has become normalized, and it's why we are fatter, sicker, and unhappier than ever before as Americans. We just need to get back to eating food for humans and not this.
We're actually not fatter than ever. Obesity rates are going down due to GLP-1 agonists.
So this is what's never talked about by physicians when you go to get your blood work done. They look at your cholesterol and they say, Gabby, your LDL cholesterol is 190. Like, do they ever ask you what your fasting insulin is? Do they look at your triglyceride to HDL ratio? Do they ask you?
Fasting insulin and HDL to triglyceride ratio is not a good marker for heart disease risk. the best marker is ApoB. The best proxy to ApoB is your LDL. Most people are not going to have a high LDL but extremely low particle count. Like, that never happens. So, yeah, that's why they look at your LDL and say you're at high risk of heart disease. There's a direct log linear association with LDL or ApoB and heart disease risk. It's indisputable.
You about a fasting glucose, a hemoglobin A1C? Have they asked you to wear a continuous glucose monitor? Have they done any further metric that actually looks at your underlying?
They don't have to. If your cholesterol's high, they know you're at high risk for heart disease.
Metabolic health to give you a better sense of your cardiovascular disease risk. I don't think LDL starts the fire. I don't think
LDL starts the fire.
is the driving factor. And the
It is the driving factor.
reason this is important is because what happens? Here's a statin, here's a statin, here's a statin. We're only treating LDL.
Yes, that's because it's the primary risk factor.
We're not treating insulin sensitivity.
And what about our brain like 25 years after taking statin?
Well, that's
When was this published? There was a huge study on this. Yeah, November 2nd, 20. So a few days ago. There was a massive study published on this. Both lipophilic and hydrophilic statins are beneficial for brain health. They prevent against Alzheimer's dementia. They literally protect against neurodegenerative disease. And they're, by the way, this whole assumption that I think it was lipophilic statins, this whole thing was based on an assumption. I think it's the lipophilic statins that can affect cholesterol in the brain. This was pure speculation, literally no evidence that these drugs could in any way influence neurodegenerative disease. But the case is closed. They don't. They protect against neurodegenerative disease, whether you're on lipophilic or hydrophilic statins.
That's a real problem. The problem I think here is what we see is, okay, I think we're treating the wrong thing. We should be treating insulin resistance. We should be treating metabolic dysfunction.
No, we should be treating cholesterol because that's the principal risk factor.
And then the question becomes, okay, how do we treat that? Well, the problem for Western medicine is we don't have a drug to treat that, which is actually not a problem in the.
Yeah, we do. They're called GLP-1 agonists. What a fucking dumb fuck, dude.
This fruit, looks like coyote poop, I know, could help you detox fluoride from your brain. Multiple studies have shown that tamarind at a dose of 10 grams per day increases human urinary fluoride excretion. Fluoride is an element that's added to our drinking water that accumulates avidly in our pineal gland. This is medical science. The pineal gland is the most single saturated part of the human body with fluoride. Studies have consistently linked higher prenatal and childhood exposures to fluoride with lower IQs. It's been demonstrated in multiple cohorts across the world.
I'm not going to even bother looking up some of this research. The concentrations of fluoride that they put into drinking water in the US has not been shown to cause any issues. There's toxic levels that you can add. I know there's some shithole countries somewhere that put in too much fluoride, but sounds like just more nonsense, cherry picking, and stupid horseshit.
Cohorts across the world. There are multiple studies in animal models correlating higher levels of fluoride in the pineal gland with higher levels of calcification of the pineal gland and lower pineal gland function. Furthermore, there are also studies in animals showing that limitation of fluoride increases the growth of pineal cytes, the actual cells of the pineal gland. The pineal gland is often thought to be the seat of the soul. Who knows about that? But the pineal gland does produce melatonin, a hormone critical for sleep and wake function. So if you want to improve growth and possibly better function of your pineal gland, consider adding a little bit of tamarind.
Well, tamarinds are fine. So, whatever. Thanks for the donation, fucktard. Jack Donny Tillers, when was the last time you binge ate? Didn't you have a problem with that in the past? Binge eating is the hardest thing for me to stop. Do you have any advice? I don't think I ever had a problem with binge eating. I definitely ate more junk food in the past. Never gaslight yourself into thinking that you're not in control of your own mind and body. Like, you see all the time these people saying, "Oh, I couldn't help myself. I couldn't stop. Oh, the cravings were just too much." They're not. You're just choosing to give up. You're just choosing to give into, you know, whatever stupid craving you have. You just need to be stoic. Hold yourself accountable and be the person you want to be. If you want to be a person who doesn't binge eat and just eats clean and is healthy and doesn't have fucking problems, then you have the power to be that person. It's all there really is to it. I was gonna say something else, but kind of slipped my mind. But yeah, we ultimately all make our own decisions. There's no force like outside of your own mind that's making you do anything. It's ultimately down to you, and you just have to decide what type of person you want to be. Oh yeah, now I remember. Oh, I forgot again. That's weird. I literally just remembered what I was going to say, and then I immediately forgot it. Give me a second. I have to poop, and I think the poop made me distracted. Um... Now I remember. I think people fall into a trap into thinking that simple little pleasures or indulgences are going to make them like happier. So like, you know, if you're stressed or something, having a hard day, that might trigger some of your like binge eating habits, or like some people might have drug habits where, you know, they'll turn to some hard drugs like crystal meth or something, or even something a little more innocuous like weed. What you'll find, and I'm sure this is the case with you, you'll have these feelings where, oh, I need a release. I need some sort of relief. I need to eat ice cream or something. But then when you do it, you're not any happier. In fact, a lot of people end up being more miserable. And they end up going into this like weird cycle where they crave a thing, whether it be like, you know, some binge eating habit where they have to eat ice cream, or they'll crave some sort of drug, like weed or heroin or meth, trying to find that kind of relief and happiness that they're looking for. and then they do it and they're not any happier, and then there's like more shame and misery that comes along with it. And they get in this loop where they think they're going to get what they're looking for, and then they don't, and then they feel shitty, and then they look for that like little simple pleasure again, and it just never works, but they keep trying again and again and again. Happiness is not found in giving into cravings or indulgences. Happiness is found in acts of will. Like, you'll always hear this from hard drug addicts. I wish I could stop. I'm in this, like, never-ending spiral, and I feel like I have no control, and it's making me miserable. They specifically mention having no control. So when you actually enact your will, you know what you actually want. Like, you want to quit drugs or you want to quit binge eating, but it's hard. And like, people think that because it's difficult, they won't find happiness there. You will find happiness there because it's difficult and because it requires an actual act of will. And when you enact your will and do those difficult things, you'll realize that you have power and control over your own life. You have power and control over yourself, over your destiny, over your future. And that's where happiness is found, in acts of will. So never, like, convince yourself that, oh, I need to give into this craving because, like, I'll get the relief and happiness I'm looking for. You won't. It's not found there. It's found in the difficult thing that actually requires effort and an act of will on your part. And when you enact your will, that's where you'll find happiness. But hope that helps. Thanks for the donation, Jack. Dodo donated $2. As a matter of fact, yes, in old movies and even TV shows, women would admit they were wrong. Such as Edge of 17, link here.
I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for being.
Well, this is only a fantasy, Dodo. I've never seen that in real life. And good luck, Charlie, link here.
Bob? Where is he? For heaven's sakes. What are you doing? Fine, I'm sorry, okay?
Again, this is probably a script written by a man. This would never happen in real life. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Kid Boo donated $2. Let me see. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo. He probably had to piss, donate $2. He just leaves.
In America, we've been advancing science and creating high-value jobs. But today, we... Oh, are you okay? Gordon, you okay? Yeah. Okay. Let's take a break. Yeah.
Well, the meeting's over, then yeah, I'd leave. Thanks for the donation. He probably had to piss.
Gay retards. Palestine is gay. Please free Israel. All hail President Trump cock.
I don't think that was worth wrecking your car over.
Usually I don't eat breakfast. I
Okay.
usually do intermittent fasting. I try to make it so my first meal is lunch. If I eat breakfast, I try to eat protein. Eat eggs and bacon, then I try to stop eating after 7 o'clock at night.
Okay. And then what are you eating throughout the day?
Maybe I'll eat some nuts. I keep peanuts and pistachios in the car for snacks, and we keep dried mango.
And then dinner, steak?
I eat protein, a lot of protein.
Protein.
I don't eat processed foods. I don't eat anything that comes in a packet. And I don't eat anything that has more than 3 ingredients.
Right. That's the key.
Pretty much I eat whatever I want, and I eat large amounts of food. Eat a lot of food.
You're not worried about calories?
I'm not worried about calories.
I don't worry about.
I eat large amounts of food, but I don't eat most of the day, and I only have a short feeding window. Yeah. Okay.
This myth that olive oil oxidizes when you cook it is one of the worst internet myths there is.
Really?
Wait, it turns out that olive oil is the least oxidizable
That's
oil.
false.
It's even better than avocado oil or coconut oil.
What Stephen Gundry is saying here is partially correct, but he's off the mark. The best cooking oils, the most stable cooking oils are butter, tallow, ghee, and lard.
Those will raise your cholesterol and give you heart disease.
If it's from a pig that hasn't been fed corn.
Like, by the way, it's really strange that he mentioned ghee because he's all about oxidation. Ghee is highly oxidized. It's cooked at high temperature for a prolonged period of time. Like, where is he getting this idea that's not oxidized?
And soy. There are multiple studies which show this, even in.
And by the way, you'd expect that. Ghee does not have any antioxidant content, so if it's exposed to high temperature, it's going to be highly oxidized. Like, at least these vegetable oils, especially avocado oil and olive oil, they're very high in antioxidants, so it kind of protects them from oxidation from either being left out in the open or sunlight or high temperature.
In comparison to olive oil, such as this study.
It's just that they burn at a higher temperature because they're solid at room temperature. That's the only thing.
Which compares olive oil, sunflower oil, which is a seed oil, those are the worst, and lard. And in this study, it clearly shows that olive oil is worse than lard and worse than
Lipid oxidation products. I'm assuming this is some kind of dumb animal model or some shit.
coconut oil. Stephen Gundry is off the mark here. I would not cook in avocado oil. I would not cook in olive oil. If you want to cook in an oil, which I don't actually think you need to do that much of the time, use tallow, use butter, use ghee, use coconut.
Why would the assumption be that these lipid oxidation products are more harmful than raising your serum cholesterol score?
Oil, or use lard.
Like, even assuming this is a thing?
Lard from a good pig. Don't cook in olive oil, guys.
Yeah. Well, he's a fucktard. Thanks for the donation, Eno Cordova.
Hey VG. I want to formally apologize for questioning you about your reasons for steroid use a few days ago. What you put in your body is your own business. No judgment here.
I can't even remember you saying anything, so don't worry about it. Thanks for the donation though, Mike.
Have you ever consumed high amounts of spinach for long periods?
No. Spinach is gross. It tastes like shit.
You burn.
And I hate it. So I've never consumed spinach for long periods. Thanks for the donation, though, Mills. SV donated $2. Let me see.
What kind of pumpkin did you make?
My pumpkin is my girlfriend.
Oh. Wow. What?
Pretty sure that's AI.
This is a special place. Everyone loves the donuts here. What's the secret?
I make all the donuts.
Oh, wow. Very
I
awesome.
fill them all with cream at night. This is my turn.
That's nice. Thanks for the donation, SV.
Girl was asking me, you were asking my girl, do you like to go to the speed shop with your... She doesn't give a crap about cars.
One thing this girl said, I just wanted to see if I can bring it back a little bit.
But if we have to go and we get to go together, that's amazing. These men, they don't like their wives, and we have to stop normalizing this.
See, that's a line. That right there. That was the line I was looking for, okay? Do not let her... Manipulation. On you, okay? That's what it is. She's seeing the fact that someone is not ecstatic as like they don't love you. Just take that logic. Let's say I'm forced to do things with my kids I don't want to, like I have to take them to practice. I don't probably enjoy it, but I love them. So I'm making the effort for them, and I know it matters to them. But in her logic, you don't love those people because you don't enjoy everything with
Do you
those.
think that my dad loved standing up in a fucking cold-ass arena?
We're in Canada, don't forget.
While we were making laps, me and my sister, just so we could get the experience of ice skating? No, the bitch is cold.
Oh, ice rink?
Yes.
Oh, ice rinks are cold.
Yes.
Because the ice is not supposed to melt.
And it's inside. Don DeMarco.
I was preaching right there.
No, because you think my dad loved that shit? He hated it? No. So it's not because he hated being there that he hated us. That's not how it works.
Yeah. A lot of people have married people that they've grown to hate.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I've seen some micro interactions. I'm like, ooh, that bitch, he hates you.
Is this love? Yeah.
The Walk and Talk vlog. Hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining me on this very rainy day, which is why I find myself inside.
Zoran Mandami transition team is all women. We about to see NYC turn into Gotham City. This is why liberals and females are so easy to propagandize. They're emotional retards who lack the literacy to think critically about any issue. Can't wait to see.
Well, since he's got women working for him, you know, no work's going to be done. So, depending on how you look at it, that could either be a good or bad thing. But, yeah. Everyone's going to go broke. Or even more broke. And there's going to be more crime. So... New Yorkers are out of this world stupid. I don't think I have any interest in visiting New York right now. Thanks for the donation though, Kid Boo.
This indoor football pitch that I've been spending a lot of time in, which is a great way to get some exercise in. Been focusing on that rather than lifting weights in the gym in the last year. It's been a lot of fun playing in the football league or soccer league, and you know, connecting with other people in the village, social, and it's beautiful. Anyway, today I really don't have a plan of where to take you guys, so if the rain stops I might go outside for a walk, but for now I think I might damage the microphone, so we'll stay here. Maybe we'll discuss a topic that is very important, as it's the focus of pretty much every human being that is born into this world, and that is chasing money and chasing different things that will make us quote-unquote successful. And it is one of the things that makes us the most miserable as well. So money is obviously essential in this system that we live in, and it has been for a long time, for a few hundred years, I suppose. At least that's what we're told. And it's kind of inescapable at this point, unless you're willing to sacrifice everything behind in terms of society and go live in the bush and hunt for yourself and just live completely off-grid, which I suppose it is possible, although in many places, such as in Norway where I live, that's actually illegal. So you might not be able to do that either without any consequences. You might find yourself living off-grid in a prison somewhere. But chasing money is something that we're born into. We're born into this world of scarcity. Although there is no real scarcity, it's manipulated.
Nah, never liked Jon Venus. When I met him in person, I found him to be... I got bad vibes, like he was really dishonest and shit. I didn't mention anything at the time because, you know, he was still posing as a vegan and he didn't do anything, you know, to warrant criticism. So I'm not just gonna, like, make a post about how I just don't like somebody for no particular reason other than vibes. But yeah, I never liked the guy. I always got bad vibes off him. Just random vids donate $2.
He actually turns out to be a good mayor. New York might be in bigger trouble than anyone thought.
I'm not worried about Mandami failing. That would be fine. I'm worrying about Mandami succeeding and actually being a decent mayor. Let me tell you why I worry about that. Hitler succeeded for his first 2 years. From 1933 to 1935, he revived the economy. He helped employment. He did a lot of things that were beneficial to the people. That's why they were willing to buy into his anti-Semitism. When they first voted for him in 1932, they voted for him despite his anti-Semitism, the same way many Jews today are going to be voting for Mamdani despite his anti-Semitism and his anti-Israelism. But if he succeeds...
Wow. Dude, the white guilt among Jews is just fucking crazy.
Then he'll get a widespread audience and people will support him. So I'm much more worried about a successful Mayor Mamdani than a...
Yeah, he makes a really good point. Best quote.
Angelo said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Let's look at some of Mandami's first times. Well, he in the past has said, let's defund the police. And he's since walked that back. He said that Jews who support Israel are not welcome in his coalition. He's walked that back. He says the police are racist, anti-gay, and a threat to our public safety. He's walked that back. He's given a love shout out to the Holy Land Five, a financial organization that finances terrorism. He's since walked that back. He said, let's tax the rich white neighborhoods. He's walked that back. He would not condemn globalize the Intifada, a chant that is about violence against Jews. And he's since walked that back. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
Yeah, the guy's just a massive piece of shit. Apparently, Sudan has a better genocide. I think he meant.
حاليا محاصرة من الجميع ولا بيقدروا بياكلوا ولا بيقدروا بيشربوا. فدائما خليكم عم تدعوا لهم مو لأن هن كمان هنيك في أطفال صغار حلوين مثل.
I'm not even gonna laugh or giggle because this isn't funny, not even a little.
Isn't there like a genocide going on in Sudan right now where hundreds of people have already been executed by some tribe?
Now, people have been starting to talk about Sudan. Now that the Israel-Palestine, Free Palestine, whatever is silenced, now people feel the need to actually wake up to an actual genocide. And for some reason, because they don't have iPhone 17 Pro Maxes or, I don't know, Greta's flotilla trying to get to them, then their actual genocide don't matter. These people have cried for 2 years talking about how they're undergoing a genocide. You're going to travel.
I don't know how the hell you live with fingernails that long. That just seems tiring.
Two people who are actually going through a genocide, and you're going to tell them to pray for you? Can you tell the difference?
Yeah, whatever, boring. Thanks for the donation, just random vids.
Why do you think philosophers have been slow to adapt to vegan lifestyle advocation? Alex O'Connor was the first in the mainstream only to bitch out as soon as it became a slight inconvenience. Do you have any thoughts besides they're dumb or something?
A lot of the people in the quote-unquote skeptic sphere, or people who liken themselves to public intellectuals, they're entitled left-wing jackasses, and they like to just blab about how they're better than everybody else, and it's very easy to virtue signal about, you know, the dangers of religion and how it's bad for kids and society and all this crap, but they don't really do anything. So it's just the types of people who end up being in these spaces. They're just lazy. They're not as smart as they think they are or want people to think they are. Like, all they're really doing is just dunking on religious retards, which doesn't take much effort. Like, religion is just Santa Claus for adults. So the same kind of mental effort that you would use to debunk Santa Claus, it's the same thing with debunking God. So these people aren't particularly smart, and again, the whole community just attracts people who are just virtue signaling fucktards, and then, yeah, you get people like Alex O'Connor, who claims to be an intellectual and all this shit, and his best excuse for quitting veganism is, I poop my pants. Thanks for the donation, though. Apple is fucking awful. Kid Boo, $92. Let me see. Zoran completely breaks the brains of MAGA and makes them revert to 2003 war on terror-style hardcore Islamophobia, calling him a jihadist. This dude is such a gay, retarded cuck. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, you know, just wait. Probably just a few months, then we'll just all be saying I told you so. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo. Why do I get the
feeling Jon is borderline retarded?
He probably is.
I bet you.
He's a dumb guy. Like, pretty fucking dumb.
You didn't know that butter is a heart-healthy food. Yes.
Butter is not a heart-healthy food. There's been an innumerable amount of prospective cohorts linking it to heart disease.
I am challenging the narrative here, especially a raw butter like this. I mean, look at the color of that butter. Those cows are grass.
That does not have an effect on your serum cholesterol.
That is naturally orange. What's amazing about butter in terms of your heart and heart health and the health of your arteries is that it is rich in vitamin K2. Multiple studies
K2 is not cardioprotective.
like the Rotterdam study have shown a clear association between higher...
Oh, look at that. The fucking jackass who says, oh, association studies are garbage. We can't rely on prospective cohorts. Oh, there's an association. Oh, this guy is just a fucking liar. Like, so yeah. This is being tried and tested. There's randomized trials on K2 intake. It is not cardioprotective. And yeah, Paul's full of shit. This is the same guy who says, we can't look at studies that rely on associations, you know, prospective cohorts or cross-sectional surveys. And then what does he do? He looks at a prospective cohort, and a really poorly designed one, by the way.
Levels of vitamin K2 and lower levels of atherosclerotic heart disease. So even though you've been told that butter is high in saturated fat and that's going to raise your cholesterol, I don't think this is the whole story, guys. I think it's much more nuanced, and I believe that butter...
If K2 is what's protective, why wouldn't you just take a K2 supplement and get higher levels of K2 without increasing your serum cholesterol? Then it would be a win-win. So why would you eat butter? It has like no nutritional value.
butter, especially grass-fed butter, full of vitamin K2 and those heart-healthy nutrients, is actually healthy for your heart. So yes, look up the Rotterdam study. Higher levels of vitamin K2, which are essentially only found in animal foods, foods like liver, meat.
You know, when I see Paul open his mouth and I see his big buck teeth, I just think of, like, my foot and a soccer ball, but his teeth are the soccer ball.
And butter were significantly, consistently associated with lower levels of atherosclerotic coronary artery disease. When it comes to heart-healthy foods, butter is on that list. Do not fear butter. This is what you should.
What an absolute lying fucktard.
Did you know that it's essentially illegal to make an infant formula without seed oils? This is because of the FDA regulations for seed oils. This has to change, guys. These are a train wreck for your baby's brain. We know that 55 to 66% of infants are fed formula. Breast milk is obviously best, but if you're feeding your infant formula to your baby, you need to know that this contains 25 to 275 times more oxidized lipids. There's a study, I'll put a link to it right here. It's clearly been shown.
Literally does not matter.
The problem with these infant formulas, they're full of seed oils. So what's the solution? I mean, look, breast milk is clearly the best thing for your baby, but if you have to feed your baby infant formula, I don't have a perfect solution for you. But it's my hope that I will be able to work with RFK Jr. and the current administration to get the FDA guidelines that require seed oils in infant formula, every single one.
I'm pretty sure that requirement is due to nutritional needs where they need essential fats in the formula. You know, otherwise the kid will die. But, this guy is such a fucking idiot. So, he's claiming seed oils make babies retarded. Okay, dude.
We are literally, as a species, infertile.
We're about to go extinct.
Yes, it's insane. Men and women are struggling with fertility, and men's sperm counts are at all-time lows. Men's testosterone levels are a fraction of what they were in the 70s. Our grandfathers could run circles around us and recover.
Every woman I know thinks her hormones are imbalanced, and a lot of them probably are.
Yeah, 30 million men in America
have erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, it's a telltale sign there's something wrong. You don't have to have a double-blind.
Yeah, so he's talking about men having erectile dysfunction, and then he promotes foods that trigger erectile dysfunction by causing atherosclerosis.
Placebo-controlled trial to say something's not right. My buddy Jason, who testified in front of the Senate, one of his statements was, if we spray chemicals and pesticides that are endocrine disruptors and wipe out entire ecosystems and cause infertility in insects and frogs and amphibians and wipe out an entire ecosystem of a pond or a geographic region, we don't think that that's not going to somehow impact our endocrine systems. It's biology.
The reason why frogs are particularly impacted by some of these things, what was the Alex Jones meme? You know, he said it's making the frogs gay. What was that pesticide that he was talking about again? I can't remember the name of the pesticide. It doesn't really have any effect in humans. The reason why it affects frogs so much is because they absorb shit through their skin so readily. But with human beings, it doesn't really do anything at, like, normal sort of doses of exposure. Like, I'm sure if you just drank a fucking, you know, bottle of the stuff every day, like, yeah, probably something bad would happen, but just a normal level of environmental exposure, it doesn't seem to actually do anything in humans.
We share common DNA with all of...
Huh? That's fine.
These other species. It's going to impact us. We are literally, as a...
All right. Well, Paul's still an idiot.
Fake scarcity. It's a system of slavery to some extent. And so, since everyone in the whole world is chasing that same desire, that same material possession of money, which allows for other things in life, we're all in the same boat in this as a...
Dude, this dumb motherfucker has to work 3 jobs for nothing. He has like, what, 4 kids or something, and his dumb bitch wife is refusing to work? He has to work like 3 jobs now just to make ends meet. He doesn't get to have a nice car or motorcycle or like computer, video games, like any luxuries that any normal person would have. This dumb motherfucker is working 3 fucking jobs because the stupid ass hooked up with some fucking selfish, lazy chick who just wanted to use this guy to breed fucking kids and get taken care of. And then he's like rambling on about how, oh, society makes you want to like work as a slave just so you can have like nice things. You're working as a slave for fucking nothing, just taking care of some fucking raggedy old bitch with a bunch of dumb fucking kids. At least when I work and everyone else works, yeah, we get to have nice things. You don't get to have shit. You have a fucking wrinkly old fucking bitch wife who's aging like fucking milk or an avocado, and some dumb fucking kids. So who's worse off?
Humanity. But most of us don't really stop at getting enough means to survive, to have our basic needs met. We're constantly bombarded with propaganda and entertainment and inspirational videos about how to become richer, how to make more money in order to escape the matrix, or in order to have a happy life, in order to get the new car, the new house, etc. And I know a lot of you guys don't buy into that, but we are bound to this system and we can't really escape it. So the reason why I felt the call to talk about this specifically right now is because a lot of this last year and a half, 2 years has been about making sure that my family has enough to eat, enough food on the table, to make sure that all of the kids have everything, all their needs met in terms of nutrition, the healthiest food that we can possibly get them, and access to, school. Not that they go to school, one does. Access to clothing, the best winter clothes, which you really do need in a cold place like this, etc. So because we ran out of money after not working for 4 years.
So, by the way, here's the real story. His parents and his wife's parents were giving him money. And they were actually hopping between Barcelona, which is where his wife is from, and Norway, which is where Jon's from, to live with their parents. Their parents got fed up with paying for grown adults who are too lazy to work. So both their parents kicked them out. That's the story. Like he's not being honest. So he was bumming off his parents. They kicked him out. They were bumming off of his wife's parents. They kicked them out. Now they've actually had to get a job and work and make money.
And sort of leaving that whole, capitalistic money system for 4 years, eventually you run out. And so it came to a point where I had to focus on ways of getting money back in order to make sure that I was providing for the family. And in doing so, the thought process behind stressing when we're getting close to running completely out of money, when you get to that point of consistently needing to work out how you're going to get by every month, how not to overspend, it does become a stress, right? It is not a nice place to be, to make sure that you're not choosing the most expensive version of this or not buying too much of that.
I like having enough money to buy whatever I want. I'm poor now and I can't buy whatever I want, and I don't like that. I'm Jon Venus. I think I'm sharing deep intellectual thoughts.
Making sure that you're not wasting any food. Otherwise, you know, who knows, you might miss a meal. It's not a nice stress to have in everyday life. And that is a situation that a lot of people find themselves in.
Oh my God.
And not only people who are not making a lot of money income-wise, it also is very similar to people who make a lot of money, because the amount that you spend just keeps going up the more you make, and so you're kind of in the same boat in terms of worrying about how much you're spending, how much you're making, savings, etc. It just looks a little bit different. You know, it's a different variation of the same issue. And so while one person is struggling to find out if they can afford an extra date at a restaurant this month, someone else might be worrying if they're gonna be able to afford a 3-week 5-star hotel trip to Thailand or something. And no matter how different those two scenarios seem, the same scarcity mindset, the same stresses and worries are still present in both of them.
No, they're not. Because worrying about not being able to eat or going homeless is not the same kind of stress as worrying about not being able to afford a vacation. You fucking idiot. This is like, when that fat, ugly feminist chick said Twitter gave her PTSD, and she started arguing with a Marine Corps veteran on, like, whether or not you can get PTSD from, like, troll comments on Twitter. And she literally said, you can develop PTSD from troll comments on Twitter and have the same severity of post-traumatic stress as someone who literally fought in fucking combat in a war. That is just so fucking ridiculous to say the stress of going homeless is the same as the stress of not being able to afford an expensive vacation. You're a fucking idiot.
And so I think for me, what I've learned a lot is to surrender a lot of that, not to worry about the money, not to worry about whether or not you're going to be able to afford certain things. And that is obviously easier said than done, because when you're in the situation...
His parents still give him money, by the way. So if he's like short on rent or something, they'll give him like, you know, $100 or whatever. So, like, yeah, it's easier not to stress out and worry when you know your parents are gonna, like, cover the bill to some extent.
When you're actually out of money completely and you have nowhere else to turn, it is kind of impossible not to worry. But the point is that the worrying in itself is not gonna make a difference. It's just gonna make the situation worse, and it's gonna bring you to a state of fear, a state of despair, that is gonna make the solution...
Oh, this is great. This is really useful. He's giving us tips on how to handle being poor. You know, just don't worry about it, like, whatever. You know, make up some kind of excuse to your landlord that you'll have the money in a week. You know, just forget about it, don't worry about it. Like, just trust me. Works out for me every time.
Much more hard to figure out, and you're going to be having a much harder time in manifesting a solution and finding ways out of that trap or that situation that you find yourself in when you're fearing and worrying and in that negative state of mind and emotion. And so when it comes to money, no matter how little you're making, no matter how much you're making, if you find yourself stressing about it, I think the most important thing is to realize how unimportant money actually is, apart from the basic survival needs, and that the fears of missing out and the fear of not having enough and the desire to have more is impacting your life in such a negative way that no amount of money that you could ever make could fix that. And that is why I've met extremely wealthy people in my life, whether it's millionaires or even billionaires, who have this issue with their emotional and mental health, and always the desire for more, and always the stress and the chip on their shoulder to do better financially. And it's a never-ending race. It's a rat race, and that's how it's.
Yeah, it's a race that they're winning. Like, buddy, if they're driving around in a Lamborghini, they don't have the same fucking problems you do. They still have a fucking Lamborghini. You don't have shit. This guy has a wrinkly wife who is just using him and coming up with excuses not to work. And this jackass has to work 3 fucking jobs just to make ends meet. And then he's saying, oh, I know a millionaire who's like worrying about stuff and making more money, so he's not in a different situation than me. Yeah, he's having a lot more fucking fun than you are, dipshit.
Supposed to be, you know, this is a system that is supposed to keep us entrapped for life. This is not a, you can never make enough money to escape.
Sarah Palin is hot and Danica Patrick is hot.
I don't find either of them attractive. Yeah, I don't find either of them hot. Thanks for the donation, though, Gay.
This system, it's impossible. And so, if you focus instead, and that's been my experience, instead of worrying, instead of trying to figure out ways to escape the situation that you're in a fearful way, I believe the best way is to strip away a lot of these fears by challenging and questioning your belief systems around money, around how life should be, around why and the reasoning behind why you're trying to, you know, make money in the first place, why you're trying to get a bigger house, why you're trying to level up materially, and rather focus on why you're not focusing on the things that is directly in your control in every second of every day, in each moment of your life, which is your spiritual connection to the people around you, the service that you can provide to other people, the help that you can give someone that you didn't even realize you could be helping right now because you're so focused on your own fears and your own desires that you are completely blind to everyone else who is walking past, who is in a desperate need.
Dude, you're a dumb fuck. You have to work 3 fucking jobs right now. Like no shit, this dude's poor. He's talking about like, I'm so selfish. How can I help other people? Da da da. Maybe learn how to fucking make money for yourself before worrying about some other people's bullshit. Like, what a stupid fucking thing to say when he's talking about struggling to make ends meet, not being able to buy enough food for him and his kids. And then he's like, what about all the other people I could help? Well, maybe if you'd help yourself and like get a better job or something, you'd be in a better position to like not only help your family, but other people. But what is he even fucking doing? If, like, he said he's getting a third job. Where does he have the fucking free time to even shoot these stupid dumb fuck videos and wander around and play soccer? If he's working 3 jobs. Like, is this some kind of disability thing where he's being found to be mentally retarded and the 3 jobs he's working are like 2 hours at a grocery store a week? I don't know what the fuck, like, what the hell this guy's doing.
Of just a moment of human connection and someone to listen to them or just to be in their presence. And our emotional state can change so fast if we just allow ourselves to, because in the silence of the present moment, if we allow ourselves to get there, there is peace. There's always peace. You can't really be...
No, he's not vegan. He eats meat. He's a fucking retard.
...silent and have a clear mind and feel pain and torture at the same time. Because pain and torture and these horrible emotions come from these thoughts. Without the thoughts, those disappear. And so that is in our direct control right now at all times.
If you feel sad, you're gonna feel sad. But if you don't feel sad, then you're not gonna feel sad. Oh, that's cool. Oh, now I know if I'm sad and I don't want to feel sad, I'll stop feeling sad. Oh, good.
And it's difficult to do, and we resist doing the most necessary things in life because it does get us to challenge a lot of our beliefs and a lot of our actions, and also it requires us to humble ourselves and to realize that we may have been approaching things our entire lives completely wrong. And that is a difficult thing to do. But instead of chasing the money, maybe the best approach is to chase that stillness.
Buddy, you said you're working 3 jobs. Nobody is working 3 jobs if they're not chasing money.
And at peace, because...
Bro, what a cope. I don't know why people can't just admit they fucked up and they're stupid. This guy fucked up in so many ways. Leaving the whole vegan movement for no reason. Who the fuck knows what the hell was going through his mind there. He was making really good money doing online coaching. He told me when I was with him, when we met up and did that collab, he was making $100K per year off of online coaching alone. And his wife or girlfriend at the time, I don't know if they were married yet, she was helping him out with it. He ended up leaving the vegan movement and talking about how a vegan diet ruined his health. And he showed a photo where he had like a pimple on his face. And a photo a week later when he started eating eggs and stuff and the pimple was gone. So apparently the eggs healed him from the disease he had because the pimple went away. And then obviously ruined his online reputation and career. Fucking married this idiot chick who is lazy and refuses to work. And then on top of that, he has a bunch of fucking kids he can't afford. Like, just admit you're a fucking idiot. You're a fuck up. You're stupid. You ruined your career. You ruined your reputation online. That was the reason you were able to make money. You got with some dumb bitch who's taking you for a ride. And for no reason you had a bunch of kids you can't afford. You're just a fucking idiot. And you fucked up. Your life is objectively worse compared to what it was before.
In that peaceful state, in that silence, a lot of these things that we're thinking about, a lot of these problems that we think we are facing might not be real. And you might see clearly beyond those things and the solutions to that immediate threat financially might come to you effortlessly. And the only way to find out is to try. And that
Dodo donated $2. Let me see. Checking in on how Candace Owens' Charlie Kirk investigation is progressing. Hey guys, this is me. My teammate and I were just on campus to get food and stopped by the event. We always wear silly stuff like that. Sorry, guys. "92 degrees and sunny reminds me of the Umbrella Man at the JFK assassination." She is literally just Alex Jones.
That is Jewish. His mother was Jewish, and his grandmother was Jewish. So, Mr. Mayor, we might find out very soon that you don't hang out with me. So, welcome to our community, and I want to tell you about Rabbi Indig. Not when your numbers were up, when Adams dropped out. First day he called me up and told me, I like this guy and I'm going to meet him no matter what the consequences are. He called me after he met you. He told me, this guy is a friend of the Jewish people. He's real, he's sincere, and I believe he's going to be the best mayor of New York City. And I'm too good with him. We hope you come back.
Yeah, they're not too bright.
Well, think about today. It's like the Korean War in reverse. China's dribbling out aid to Russia. Russia's actually getting wrecked by Ukraine.
We've already seen that clip.
But today we... Oh, you okay? Gordon, you okay?
Yeah, somebody already sent this. Yeah, he just left. It's really weird. This picture, my God. A lot of awkward clips from the Trump administration. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
You would know a thing or two about marrying some dumb bitch who doesn't work. Wouldn't you? Nigger.
Okay, that's nice. Thanks for the donation, 24.
that is in your power to do right now, this second. Doesn't require anything else rather than your silence for a prolonged period of time. All right, guys, rambling is over for today. Still raining outside, but maybe next time.
What a dipshit. Just complete dipshit.
Hello and
that's a video about dishwashers.
How can Zoran be a jihadist if he wore a yarmulke and talked nicely with Jews and expressed his support for them and against anti-Semitism, etc.? ISIS and actual jihadists would never do that. In fact, they hate those Muslims the most that do that.
That's a great dude. It's wonderful. Thanks for the donation, you stupid, stupid, dumb motherfucker. You've got to be the dumbest guy who donates to me at this point. I think you're literally at the top of the tard list. Thanks for the donation, though, stupid. If you were in Jon Venus's current situation, what would you do? Let's see. Step 1 would be to abandon my family. Step 2 would be to flee to another country. And I guess step 3 would be try to be a vegan influencer again, since that worked before.
somebody, my brother-in-law said, hey, Mike, now I know you're not going to win, but somebody said, would you fight this guy for like 40 million or 30 million bucks? I said, man, get the whoa. I said, ho, then something, ding. I was just getting ready to get the fuck. I said, whoa. I said, like, well, who would they like me to fight? They said, 1 minute. And they go, then it's Bob Sapp. I said, okay. And so I'm saying to myself, well, I know Bob. And I said, ho, because I know Bob is big and strong. I said, ho, 1 minute. How would they like me to fight him? Can I fight him under the Marcus of Queensberry rules? And he said, 1 minute, Mike. He asked the guy. The guy said, yes. I said, I'll fight him. Right? And so
it was Bob Sapp was the first one that was brought up.
Yeah, and so
for people who don't know Bob Sapp was a giant fighter in Pride. At one time, he was like 375 pounds. He was fighting all the kickboxers.
That's funny.
All right.
Dodo donated $2. Let me see.
Now it's getting through Congress. So before it was by the sword, now it's getting themselves into Parliament and then making laws that act as the sword, the Islamophobia law in Canada, M103.
Yeah. Muslim Brotherhood.
I find that there are only two things which are open to our movements. Ballot or bullet, nothing in between.
I used to say that democracy is haram. Now I say participation in democracy is our jihad. That's our jihad. We're going to fight not through the bullets, but the ballot.
Going to the ballot and voting is now an obligatory action.
Am I misremembering, or was this guy actually found to be part of a terrorist organization?
Fard Ain. And it is a jihad that is now needs to be done because this is our modern jihad. You can elect a person who wants.
Yeah, dude, white guilt is ruining all of our countries. I don't know why it's so hard for people to just say, yeah, get your fucking third world shit out of here.
We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about.
Yeah, wouldn't it be funny if you went and screamed and interrupted them? What would you say? Wow, they're so gay. I just yell at them saying Prophet Muhammad's a child rapist.
Mr. Johnson, Mr. Trump, Ms. Trump, I'd like to ask about your father's relationship with Israel. He's taken over $230 million from pro-Israel groups. During the summer against Iran, even though he advised against it, Israel still attacked Iran and the U.S. still bombed on behalf of Israel. Your father's frustrations with Netanyahu have been made clear when he cursed on national TV over the situation. Israel has not been a great ally to the U.S. all the way since 19...
Whatever, boring, stupid. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Yesterday, I did a stream of Fallout, and then right after, people told me that the Trend twins went to Unk's gym, Diamond Gym, to work out with him and Hattie Abdel. And I watched the video, and it was the same workout that they did with Will Tennyson. It said it was a lot easier for the Trend twins because they're a lot stronger than Will Tennyson, and especially Alex Eubank. Alex Eubank might have been the weakest guy that I've seen go to that gym. You know, AI is a hell of a thing. I got sort of, I hit a wall here in trying to figure out what to say. And so what I looked up with Google is some of Unk's best quotes. And his top quote is, "This is not a workout. This is your reset." And I'd rather go too far than not far enough. Depends on the situation. Depends on the situation. Because let's say you... if you've suffered a muscle belly tear, you're going to wish that you held back a little bit. It is important to have strong willpower, but life isn't an anime, and you can't overcome physical reality just by willpower alone. And the willpower just allows you to get to the point where you can, well, either endure pain, although lots of pain can be avoidable, Not that you should take on the baby boom mentality and just avoid anything that's uncomfortable. It's like, oh, well, I'm not going to move because I have bad knees. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you have bad knees because you're so weak because you refused to move for so many years. And, but the more of the idea, especially with working out, is that you get your body really strong and resilient so that it makes the really hard situations easier. One of the things that Chris Trent said at the start of the video was that Diamond Jim, working with Unc and Hattie, is going to be what frames the minds of the youth, which is really good. It's really good. Generation Alpha, which is they're younger, they're Gen Z, but I don't know how Hattie's probably, he might be a millennial, but Unc's definitely a millennial. Generation Alpha, which would be the people he's talking about, are probably going to be the dumbest generation of humans so far, because of being raised on iPads and getting shot full of vaccines, and then also getting all of the queer propaganda on top of that.
I think it's
on top of the normal public school propaganda that just turns you into a fucking Borg drone, but less cool and deadly. I was thinking about Paradigm Shift 2070 with Sam Hyde, and how maybe in the future, this is a slightly derivative of his, is that in the future, the government, especially the Canadian government, is going to probably give the parents of the children that identify as trans $5,000 each. Who knows how much that's going to be worth by the time they're going to roll this out. And then also, if you off yourself, then the government will give you a Tesla. No, it's not supposed to make sense, but I could see in the brave new world, people might just do it. Don't move a muscle. Oh, fuck. Little bitch. I got my trusty keyboard here again so I can mount my camera phone in a better spot. I got recommended this video here. It's an ambience called Zion. I'll listen to it. Where the hell is it? No, we'll do the Ascension, because what we're going to do today, what I'm going to do today, you're going to play along, you're going to watch. Okay? I'm going to measure my head to see just how gloriously huge it is. Okay? I wonder if the biggest spot is around the brow ridge. Okay. Holy cow, that's fucking big. Wait, it's not straight across. Okay. It's like 24 and a half. Well, if I don't squeeze my head fat and I suppose my poofy hair, it's like 24 and a half to 24 and 3/4. Okay, let's switch that into centimeters for the Euro trash that's tuning in. No offense. 24.5 is in metric. 62.23 centimeters. And what that means is, that sounds pretty big, because I got this article here. Centiles for adult head circumference, 1992. That's a hell of a year. That's a hell of a year. Alright. I don't know if you've been following sports, but the sports ball is pretty popular this time of year in Canada, mainly because the Blue Jays are in the they're in the World Series. They didn't do too good last night, unfortunately. And I don't follow sports, but I love it when people are upset that their sports team lost or isn't doing good. And I'm a natural contrarian heel, and so if we're in a room full of Blue Jays fans, I'm going for the other guys. I'm going for LA. I fucking hate Los Angeles. I've never been there, but from what I've seen, there's nothing to like about it. Anyways, the results following Atkins' recommendation, a model was assumed for the means, which blah blah blah, doesn't matter. So it's hard to say here. Let's go like this one, because it shows lines, and 60 between like the middle of between like 62 or 60 and 65, which would be like, which is where I am, 62.2. Although if I didn't squeeze my head fat, and I don't even know if I was measuring the biggest part actually. Okay, just a minute. I was giving myself an Indian burn. Remember those? You ever get one of those as a kid? I used to give them out. It was a good test of grip. Oh, come back here, bitch. Okay. This better be bigger. It's about the same shit. Okay. That means...
Dodo Nutillers, this looks like a scene from a movie. Oh, yeah. Fucking gun violence. Gay.
Jeffrey and Jessica are not ambitious, and they're also lazy. That's the worst case scenario, at least be ambitious. But it's too late, they just don't believe that they can achieve anything in life. How sad. You may know lots of people like Jeffrey and Jessica, and the worst thing is, when you become successful, they'll want you to pay more tax so they get some of your money. Adonis is ambitious.
This guy's content is just absolute fucking trash. Jeez. What the fuck is he talking about?
Democrats will do is they're going to make Puerto Rico a state. They're going to make D.C. a state. They're going to pack the court. They're going to end up with more electoral votes. They're going to end up with 4 senators because of the 2 states. And they're going to do this 100%. They would have done it except Manchin and Sinema got in their way. They would have done it. So if they're going to do it, I would do it. I would do it before them.
And you think that the longer this,
like Israel attacked first. What they're going to do is, what the Democrats will do is they're going to make.
I have no idea, dude. This guy's losing his mind.
This video is produced in collaboration with IFI, the NSF AI Institute for Artificial Intelligence and Fundamental Physics. Welcome back to Science Click. Today, the physics of artificial intelligence. In recent years, artificial intelligence, or AI, has been spreading throughout society. Chatbots, image generators, but also black hole photograph enhancers and protein structure predictors. On October 8, 2024, John Hopfield and Geoffrey Hinton received the Nobel Prize in Physics for their contributions to this field. But why a Nobel Prize in Physics for artificial intelligence? In this video, we won't be discussing the specific applications of AI, nor the ethical and societal questions it raises, but rather the basic principles behind these algorithms. We'll see that there are unexpected links with magnetism and particle physics. Together, let's dive into the physics of AI. It's 1920, and German physicist Wilhelm Leibniz.
You didn't finish VG, good one, thinking you can pull a fast one on me like that.
Get some of your money. Adonis is ambitious and productive. At 21 years old, Adonis was starting his online business. Through trials and tribulations, it took off, and then Adonis was able to live the ultimate life. He only works 2 hours a day. He spends his time loving his wife and children in his compound with other.
Oh my god. I love how this guy is like saying, oh, fucking young people are lazy. And then he's like trying to sell his fucking online YouTuber course saying, oh, you're only going to have to work 2 hours a day. Oh, okay. So it's good to be lazy then. Just fuck this guy.
or the families he trusts. He's so fulfilled. But he wasn't always like this. Just like you, Adonis was ambitious but struggling to put in the work consistently. He followed the 3 steps to stop being lazy, and that's when everything changed. It's 2019 and I have my first ever full-time job. I'm wearing the
Well, that was terrible and not worth watching. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
USHLD do a video on MPMD. He's probably the biggest griftoid. Why he hasn't been called out before besides Greg. Sells bunk sups, says testosterone is as strong as small dose tren and has stupid shit like test boosters. While presenting as science-based.
It's all cynical nonsense, dude. So here's the reality. Smart people do the drugs that work. You know, obviously. Why would you take some over-the-counter supplement when you could take a drug that works? So Derek and Greg, they've been doing steroids, peptides, they've taken human growth hormone, you know, all the shit that works. Well, they can't sell it. Like they're either illegal or controlled substances. So how do you make money? You come up with bullshit fucking supplements that you can sell to people. It is what it is. Like, it's just an entirely cynical decision on their part. You know, maybe some of the supplements they sell are worth shit. Like, I think they sell creatine, you know, protein supplements. You know, those technically work. It's just protein. You know, shit like that. But then you've got crap like Turk test boosters. Like, they're fucking horseshit. But there's a market for complete and utter fucking morons who are scared of needles. They're too stupid to source steroids themselves, or they're too broke to go to a TRT clinic, or they're like, you know, dumb cunts who are like, steroids bad. And there's a market for those people. It's called, you know, fucking test booster supplements that you can get over the counter. So if dumbasses are willing to buy the stupid worthless shit, you know, why not sell it, make a buck off of them, and then all the smart people can just not buy your supplements and actually get fucking gains. I'm not even mad at some of the stupid shit that Greg and MPMD is doing. It's just when they're like deliberately being dishonest, that's what irks me. Like when Greg lies about testosterone replacement therapy, like it's clear what he's fucking doing. But yeah, it's just a joke, dude. It's all just stupid. Thanks for the donation, though. Apple's awful. Oh, God. I have to take a shit. Fuck, I got a shit. Well, I'm gonna go poop. I'm getting the foot cramps. I have to shit so bad. Alright, I'm gonna go shit. I'll be right back. Oh. That took longer because I had to wait for Isaac to get out of the bathroom.
Since going on gear, how has it changed your personality or well-being? Notice any differences in libido? Are you sleeping well?
It's definitely caused overall improvements to my mood, like I'm happier. I am more willing to talk to people and stuff, like I'll make small talk and stuff, whereas before I wouldn't. So I'm just like in a better mood overall. My libido has increased. At first it was ridiculous. Like I was just constantly fucking horny and it was horrible. Having like an outrageously high libido is awful. But it's gone closer to normal. It's still more than it was before. I'd say like about 30% more, but not crazy. And I am sleeping very well. I inject growth hormone before I go to bed, and growth hormone knocks you the fuck out. You sleep like a fucking baby on growth hormone. Thanks for the donation, Real Steel Rumble. Nice fat shit. Oh yeah, it was a nice fat shit.
Lenz proposes a physics problem to his student, Ernst Ising. The professor asks Ising to study a model for understanding magnetism in certain materials such as iron, which can form permanent magnets. A block of iron is composed of atoms whose electrons generate tiny magnetic fields called their spins. Roughly put, they can exist in one of two states.
The only reason the government banned steroids is for stupid political reasons. It had to do with the Olympic Games. Basically what they wanted to do was they wanted to have leverage over the Olympics so that they could arbitrarily ban certain athletes so that the US would have better chance of Olympic gold medals. So they ended up making steroids illegal and Schedule III drugs and all this other horse shit, and they put out propaganda nonsense about how bad steroids are. There's no reason whatsoever to ban steroids, especially considering what other drugs are legal. Like, there's no logically consistent basis in which you could say steroids need to be banned, but alcohol is totally fine. Alcohol is a far more dangerous drug, has absolutely zero benefits, just makes you fat, sick, and stupid. You have a way higher risk and threshold for abuse. Causes way more societal problems, way more personal problems. But you don't need a doctor's prescription for it. You can buy as much alcohol as you want and fucking overdose and kill yourself. But yeah, with steroids, oh, you need to go to a doctor and it needs to be prescribed and you need your health monitored. They sell alcohol at like fucking gas stations. Like, we know it's liver toxic, we know it's kidney toxic, we know it's neurotoxic, we know it causes cancer. You do not need to be monitored by a doctor if you're taking alcohol, but steroids, ooh, like, it's just silly. So they ban them entirely for political reasons. Nothing more, nothing less.
Up or down? To schematize this structure, Ising considers a grid of atoms, each carrying an up or down spin. He is interested in how this network evolves over time. First of all, the ambient temperature causes the spins to fluctuate randomly. Second, adjacent spins in the grid tend to align, because this configuration requires less energy and is therefore more stable. As time passes, we see magnetic domains in which nearby spins are aligned with each other. Finally, if we add an external magnetic field, all the spins tend to align with this field, transforming the iron block into a large-scale magnet. The Ising model thus makes it possible to grasp certain phenomena such as ferromagnetism. To better understand this model, we can imagine it as a marble rolling across a mountainous landscape. The marble's position represents the grid's configuration at a specific moment in time, while its altitude represents the energy associated with that configuration. Over time, the marble
In
rolls
the earlier
towards
stream,
lower,
you said
more
you want
stable
to get a pendulum squat. The gym I go to doesn't have a pendulum squat. It only has a hack squat. Do you think the pendulum squat machine is better for quad or hamstring growth?
Squats don't train your hamstrings, period, but I would say the pendulum squat, at the very least, it better targets your quads. With hack squats, you can get a lot more hip involvement, so like your glutes fire a lot more, whereas with a pendulum squat, you feel it way more in your quads, especially if you put your feet lower down on the platform. And they just feel great. Hack squats I've always found kind of aggravate my knees, but pendulum squats are easier on your knees and they better target your quads. So the next piece of gym equipment I'm going to get is probably going to be a pendulum squat. But thanks for the donation, Didi.
configurations, as the spins align with each other and the grid relaxes.
Happy 97 days on steroids. Well, thank you, Street Vegan.
Let's fast forward a little. It's now 1982 and computer science is booming. American John Hopfield is inspired by the Ising model to build a new algorithm capable of memorizing patterns. Rather than atoms, the Hopfield network is now made of artificial neurons, which can be activated or not. These neurons are all connected to each other, somewhat like synapses in a brain. As with the spins, the neurons interact with each other. But this time, each synapse carries a weight coefficient that governs the influence between the neurons it connects. Some synapses have a positive weight, pushing the neurons to adopt the same state. Others have a null coefficient, so the neurons do not influence each other. Others still carry a negative coefficient, pushing the neurons towards opposite states. As before, the network evolves. Each neuron receives a sum of values from each synapse and becomes active or not, depending on a certain threshold. Over time, the network thus progresses towards a more stable situation with lower energy. The great advantage of this model is that it is possible to finely tweak all its parameters. For instance, if we invert these coefficients, the network is no longer in equilibrium and becomes unstable. The energy landscape is affected by this change, and as it relaxes back, the network finds a new equilibrium configuration. In other words, tweaking the coefficients of each synapse allows us to sculpt the landscape of configurations as we wish. In particular, we can dig wells around certain configurations of our choice, indicating that these configurations become equilibrium points and that the network must evolve towards one of them. Hopfield thus built a network capable of memorizing patterns, because when released from an initial state, the network naturally converges towards the closest memorized pattern. A powerful tool that allows machines to learn. Over the years, other scientists like Geoffrey Hinton continued to develop this model, gradually leading to the AI we now know. Still today, artificial intelligence is based on these neural networks, in which information is propagated from synapse to synapse. For these networks to function properly, we start by training them using many examples in order to finally tweak their parameters and for them to memorize recurring patterns. This is called machine learning. We've seen so far that physics has influenced the development of artificial intelligence, but it turns out there's another, perhaps less known connection between neural networks and fundamental physics. To understand it, we'll have to open a technical parenthesis. Let's look at this neural network. It takes two input values, transforms them, and produces an output. Overall, the network acts as a mathematical function, taking two inputs and returning an output.
This is some boring nerd shit, dude.
We can represent the two input values as a point in two dimensions. Our neural network behaves like a field, assigning a value
Hamza
to every
isn't
point
even
in space.
Indian, he's Pakistani, it's worse.
In physics, fields are very useful for describing temperature in the atmosphere, velocity in a fluid, or even gravity. In our case, the values of the field depend on the parameters of the network. By adjusting them, we obtain different values. Let's focus on one point. The network assigns it a certain value. If we change the network's parameters, we get different outputs. Let's randomly change the coefficients and visualize the superposition of all the values. Among all these numbers, we can see that some appear more often than others. The outputs of the network follow a certain statistical distribution. We are more likely to obtain certain values than others. Of course, the distribution of values is not the same if we look at another point. It also changes if we increase the number of neurons in the network. As the network widens, the distribution evolves. Over time, however, it appears to become smoother and smoother. Surprisingly, the distribution seems to gradually converge towards a bell curve, what mathematicians call a Gaussian distribution. Surprisingly, this is true for all input values.
When you lost 75 pounds, how did it affect bowel function? You did this on blueberries and protein shakes for 90 days. That is quite an accomplishment. What motivated you to do this?
I was definitely shitting less frequently, just because the amount of food volume was so low, so I might go like 2 days without shitting. But because I was still eating like some fiber, I was still able to shit, like I never got constipated. What motivated me to do it? I didn't want to be fat anymore. So I just wanted to lose the weight as quickly as possible, just so it's over and done with. I didn't want to have to waste my time and do it over the course of a year or two or something stupid, so I just wanted it over and done with as soon as possible. And from my previous experiences with dieting and everything, I knew exactly how fast I could lose weight. So I just targeted, what was it, like about 5 to 7 pounds a week. It was awful. It's really fucking hard, but I did it. Thanks for the donation, Real Steel Rumble.
Regardless of the number of layers in the network. Thus, almost all neural networks converge towards this type of distribution when they become infinitely wide. All of this has been established for about 30 years. In 1995, Geoffrey Hinton's student Radford Neal discovered that very wide neural networks tend towards Gaussian processes. Fast forward to 2020, and a team of researchers at the newly formed IFI proposed an unexpected correspondence between this phenomenon and the behavior of quantum fields. As we have seen, a neural network can be interpreted as a field, assigning a value to every point in space. But in quantum physics, the behavior of particles which make up matter and govern interactions is described by quantum fields, which can be imagined as fields whose values fluctuate randomly. Particles are disturbances that propagate within this quantum field. In the simplest model of a quantum field, particles are independent and do not interact with each other. In this situation, the values of the field fluctuate according to a very specific distribution, a Gaussian distribution. In other words, a quantum field without interactions behaves in the same way as an infinitely wide neural network whose coefficients vary randomly. That said, in nature, particles interact with each other.
I'm eating about
and
3,000
physicists calculate
calories
these
now.
interactions by adding small corrections to the previous
increase
model.
it. It's very hard for me to
Similarly,
eat a lot.
in a real neural network, which is not infinitely wide, the statistical distribution of values is not perfectly Gaussian, but slightly different. Small corrections must be taken into account. Corrections that are analogous to those caused by interactions in particle physics. There is therefore a strong analogy between the behavior of neural networks and that of quantum fields. At present, quantum field theory is our best description of the world, but it is extremely complex to calculate. For instance, simulating the behavior of quarks within the nucleus of atoms is already a colossal challenge, even for the most powerful supercomputers. Some physicists now believe that neural networks could offer a new way of approaching these problems. They can already reproduce the statistics of a free field without interactions. More impressively, researchers have also reproduced fields with interactions, such as the 5-4 model, in which particles interact in pairs, or certain models of conformal fields with a certain symmetry. It is a fascinating approach, which is not yet capable of studying realistic situations, but which offers a completely new avenue for tackling certain theoretical problems in particle physics. This correspondence also allows us to study neural networks using tools from physics, such as Feynman diagrams, which are generally used to study interactions between particles.
Okay, I did not understand any of that.
I'm in like the 95th percentile. Alright, so read 'em wheat, boys. Read 'em wheat. Now let's check out adult. What's this? Black adult male head circumference standards. Because I just thought about this yesterday because there's a black guy at the gym and he wanted to compare our heights, and we were looking in the mirror standing side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and my head was like twice as big as his. How the hell is it almost the same?
Gum.
Apparently the average size head for a male is 22.5 inches. I wouldn't want to be one of those small Beetlejuice-headed motherfuckers. And I also did another Google search here. What does a big head mean? AI overview. Thanks, Google. A big head can refer to someone who is arrogant or conceited, or it can be a literal description of a large head, which may be called macrocephaly. Figurative meaning, arrogance. The most common meaning is an expression of conceit or an exaggerated sense of self-importance. That doesn't sound like me. Boasting. It's often used to describe someone who boasts or is full of themselves. Teasing. The key big head can be a playful or teasing remark, though it can also be an insult. Well, I'll take it as a compliment. Let's see what, let's go. What does the New Age say about head size? The New Age spiritual movement does not have a single unified view on head size, but some popular concepts link large head size to higher intelligence, or a big brain that is more spiritually advanced or capable. What is this, Ultra Truth? Oh, they got that from ultratruth.net. I believe that. Other New Age ideas suggest that physical size is less important than spiritual development, though they don't know what they're talking about, they're retards. Spiritual capacity. Some practitioners believe that a larger head signifies a greater capacity for spiritual development. Well, I got more space for my third eye. Early childhood is a critical period for brain development, and a healthy and stimulating environment can significantly impact a child's cognitive growth. Oh, I wish I could remember what the hell I was talking about. Shit. You ever heard about the Star Childs? Okay? It's the perfect religion. The perfect belief. If you already are a naturally solipsistic woman, okay, or a woman, not that anything against women. Obviously, there's great women. There are few. You have to put these caveats in because people are stupid. They're like, I said to some girl, I'm like, most women are complete wasted. Or I have no use for them, and it's better off not talking to them. And then that you say most. I say most, and yet they're like, why do you hate women? What are you talking about? Just most of them. Fuck. That means there's a few left behind. Not you, but there's a few good ones. And the good women know this. They're like, oh shit. It's like Al Bundy says, the philosopher Al Bundy. He's like, don't try to understand women. Women understand women, and they hate each other. Star child. So what you are is you're actually not from this earth, or maybe you have an earthly body, but your spirit comes from the Andromeda galaxy. Okay? No. I wonder if they got the idea from 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's fucking amazing. It's the perfect religion if if you have main character syndrome. Okay, you level it up. Because I remember I brought up to this guy. I don't know if he knew about how common this was, but I'm pretty sure that every woman that's in the New Age movement thinks they're a star child. How do you know you're a star child? That's these things. It's how do you know these things? Just asking that question though, that means like, why are you yelling at me? Well, it's.
Do you know if ADHD meds can impact body composition or muscle building? Well, they won't make you build more muscle. They're basically amphetamines, so it wouldn't surprise me if they reduce appetite and would make you more active. I haven't seen any direct research on ADHD meds and body composition, though. Well, it's almost 1 a.m. I'm gonna go to bed now. I had a weird day today. So I'm gonna try to get my workout done earlier tomorrow. Not sure if I'm gonna do a workout stream, but I'll try to just work out a bit earlier, then start the next stream earlier. I'll try, okay? Extenuating circumstances and such, but I'll try. But, hope you all had fun. Pretty sure I am becoming ever more jacked. Yeah, weighed in at 227. What I really noticed the last couple weeks is my legs have grown a fair bit. I think that's where a lot of the weight has been going. My arms are definitely bigger too. But, yeah, steroids seem to be working. So we'll keep doing those. And back in biceps tomorrow. That's the plan. So we'll we'll see if I'll do a workout stream tomorrow, but I'll be on tomorrow regardless. Try to keep a tighter schedule. But thanks again, everybody. Nighty night, and I will see you all tomorrow.